X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time.
Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? We feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep thinking with my mills, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You've seen now, watch me not now, punch your face now. Show you how.
Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? It is so good to see all of you. How are you, War Penguin, Galaxy Bomb 42? Game Master 19, good to see you. Perry Icefire, what's up? Sunny the Martian, how are you doing? Trans Daughter of Water, what's going on? Good to see you. Astronaut Lad 172, how are you? Over in YouTube chat, how are you, all existence itself? Caligphus? For a more perfect America, what's up? Emily Chertos, good to see you. Dr. Haley the Procrastinator, how are you? Sunny the Martian, good to have you here. Welcome back. Galaxy Bomb, how are you? Guess you jumped over from YouTube over to website chat? What's up, Ash? Good to see you. The worms! The worms are back. Oh, by the way, speaking of the worms, and them being back, the worms are so back, guys. The worms are so fucking back. Look at this shirt. This little bit on the bottom says, "This ain't nothing to me, man." I love this shirt. I pre-ordered it off of the Plum Corp Records, Filthy Frank's merch website. I pre-ordered it, and I got it day one. Check DMs, I might in a minute. A lot of new people in website chat. Welcome, welcome. I see you, Peak Real Human for real, FR. I don't know what that's supposed to stand for. I assume for real. Usually when people just say FR, they mean for real these days. Zan, check out this Fallout meme. Okay. Okay, this is actually pretty good. This is actually really good. How do I full screen this video? Oh, I hate Instagram. If Owen Wilson and Donald Trump were cast in Fallout. Okay, this actually goes really hard.
Quite frankly, I don't know why we left the vault.
Well, come on, Donald. There's more to life than Nuka-Cola and Salisbury steak.
We had the best vault, I'm told. It was a really good vault.
Okay, this is a really good
And that vault tech, that terrible, nasty vault tech, they weren't even doing their experiments
What do you
on
mean
us.
they weren't doing experiments down there? I came out of there with 3 arms.
Well, if I got to be overseer like I was supposed
Yeah,
to...
but Donald, you have to be elected. You didn't have the vote.
Shut up, Owen. What the hell is that?
Oh, wow. That's a feral ghoul. Somebody's gone crazier than roadless.
More like feral fool.
There's a real person in there.
But just
This is
look, it is
amazing.
extremely silly bald head.
The impressions are, like, scary spot on.
Clearly, he doesn't know that we have solutions for that now. That one didn't sound as friendly.
I think that was a death claw.
That is my cue to return to the vault.
Wow, my
The fucking wow. I can't say wow like he does. God. It's genuinely impossible. Only he can do it. Like, he has an accent that is just Owen Wilson's accent. Xander Hall, can you increase the character limit in website chat so my username fits? That's not really like a thing I can just do, I don't think. Zan, when you're done with the Trump shit, could you react to my Chugga Conroy video exposing his lies? I mean, potentially, but from what I've seen so far, it honestly seems like Chugga Conroy has not lied, but maybe? Maybe I'll check it out. I've got a lot on my plate today, unfortunately. Are you going to watch the Summer Games Fest or E3 2.0? I've always watched the Summer Games Fest, even when E3 was a thing, just because anything cool and new involving games I want to follow and see what's coming out, what's happening, any new gameplays or trailers or anything like that. And any game event has a chance of being where Infamous 3 or whatever gets announced, right? So, yeah, I keep an eye on them, and I'll definitely... maybe not watch live, but I'll definitely take a look. Oh yeah, I'm already planning to cover the new Oz Media video. Do you have the Oz Media video on the scroll? Okay, guys, do you want... I know it's flipped, so it'll be hard to read, but look. Look. You see this right here? Where is it? New Oz Media Illuminati, right there. Look at my chicken scratch. It was already in the scroll. When I think it appears in the scroll. I don't have to write in this thing. I just do that for fun. This thing is just, it just materializes whatever it is I need to cover. It's there. Trust me, I know. I know. Oh, I didn't realize Zan was up past 80k. Congrats, y'all. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we love the 80k plus sub bracket. We're getting up to 90k. We're grinding. I was gonna say, by the way, guys, do I have any Final Fantasy XIV gamers in chat today? Because if you're wondering where I've been the last 2 days, I started Shadowbringers. I started FF14 Shadowbringers. I am now roughly 35 to 40% of the way through FF14 Shadowbringers. What's Final Fantasy? Hilarious. Never played or watched Final Fantasy in my life. It's an interesting franchise, that's for sure. Every Final Fantasy game is standalone. Like, they have shared things. Like, there are things that cross over in every game. Like, every game has chocobos or whatever, and they all refer to ether, and they all, like, have a lot of emphasis put on, like, crystals, which you understand pretty quickly when you play a Final Fantasy game. There are things that are just in every one, but they're all their own story and universe that are, if anything, loosely connected. Yeah, Moogles, Chocobos, there's stuff like that that's in every game, but they're not all the same universe, or the same world, or the same, like, story. So the idea is that, like, you just play the newest Final Fantasy game, or whichever one you're interested in, and that can be your first one, it can be your only one, it could be the first of many that you play, right? FF14 is my first, and it is quite good. Highly recommend that if any of you guys are interested in playing Final Fantasy XIV with me and my free company, by the way, which we've got a lot of people in it. And for those that don't know, FF14 has a free trial from the first expansion up till the third expansion. That's not like a timed thing or a limited thing, like, in any way. It's literally hundreds of hours of content. Not grind, content. Until you get to the end of the free trial, and then you get to play the rest. Well, in FF14, you're a silent protagonist, except you occasionally choose dialogue options. So you don't really get, like, that whiny FF protagonist issue, you know? Unless you choose to to select whiny options. I already pay for a sub just in case I want to go back. Nice. I'm not interested in Final Fantasy, TBH. I'm 100% the adventure games. I don't know if that's like a franchise or if you're not knowing what Final Fantasy XIV is like. The current one I'm on is, I will show you guys the trailer for the expansion I'm doing. Spoilers if you haven't gotten to Shadowbringers, I guess, and you don't want to see the trailer because it could spoil things in Stormblood, Heaven's Word, and A Realm Reborn. However, I'm going to be honest, it's not going to spoil much of anything because it's so confusing. Oh, Hash, yeah, you might have to dip. You might have to dip on this one, Hash, because Ethan wouldn't want you to see this trailer. Rip, yeah. You can come back in, like, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Xanderhall will play Sonic if he reaches 100,000 subs. Yes, I will. I will play Sonic when I reach 100,000 subs. Probably going to be the one that has Shadow in it, where he uses the guns. Where do I find the free company? Do !FC in the website chat, and you'll get a link to the Discord. The Shadowbringers trailer goes so hard. It's so crazy watching this before having played the expansion, and now that I'm, like, almost halfway through the expansion, I would guess, I understand a lot more of what's going on in this trailer. I genuinely think it's not that spoilery because it's so cryptic, you know? Like, you just don't understand what's happening here unless you've played it already. Obviously, you understand this bit if you played the end of Stormblood. Oh yeah, this game has just some of the best OST. Some of the best OST ever. I don't know if I want to talk over it because it's so good. I love this game's OST so much. This is the end of the previous expansion, sort of like a dramatization of how it ended. It didn't go exactly like this, but the events you see unfold are what happened. This
How
didn't
many
look like
years
this.
have come and gone since that day?
It was in a different place.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
Man. Stormblood gets too much shit, I'm
For
gonna
the
say
one
it.
that stood alone
was cool.
against the storm.
Had a cool story. Oh, my nose.
For the one they called the Warrior of Light.
It is such a bizarre music choice for a fantasy setting, but it works. It's a sub for More Perfect America, but it's cheaper than, like, WoW. Got that sword, I want it? Oh. Just wait. God, this song goes hard when you know what it means. This is our character. You can switch classes. You're not stuck to one class in this game. You can switch between them. You level all of them up individually on the same character. Yeah, all the music in the game's like this, Galaxy Bomb. Like when you're doing a boss fight, the music is like this.
What sayest thou, Master Matoya? We may accept this fate, or defy it, but we cannot deny it.
These are your
I am
scrumblies,
wont to run from my
your
troubles.
friends in the game, like the main characters of your crew. Dragoon, Monk. He's switching between classes. What is this? The trailer for Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers.
Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
The introduction. I think Gunbreaker existed before.
This town certainly
Maybe
has
not.
changed. And not
I think
at
this is
all
when they
for
added the
better.
Gunbreaker class. They're a Gunbreaker main? Nice.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, Minfilia.
Yeah, Dancer came out in this one too. Moogles! But they're blue. Yep, here's the Dancer. Oh wait, she's a character you actually meet. She's just not dressed like this when you meet her in the game. She's like in full armor when you meet her in the game.
This tragedy, greater even than the seventh umbral calamity, must be undone.
This part goes so hard. Samurai. I need to level Samurai.
If history must be unwritten, let it be unwritten. Become what you must.
And what I'm playing right now, Dark Knight. Dark Knight's so fun.
The warrior of darkness.
I'm having so much fun with this expansion. I get why this is the expansion that made the game blow up in popularity. Like, everybody started getting on board and playing it after this expansion. It's what made it go super viral. It's so fucking good. It really, really is. Just such a great expansion. It starts to make, like, everything else that I've done to get to that expansion so much better in hindsight. Damn, Xanderhall, don't cut yourself on that edge. What? What edge? Huh? Oh, on the... Oh, no, you don't know. I spoil things if I explain what it means. Let me just tell you, the concept of the Warrior of Darkness is not, like, edgy or, like, anti-hero-y. I'll tell you that. And Dark Knight isn't really edgy either. I guess I can tell you, like, if you know anything about Final Fantasy, I can tell you what Dark Knights are about. They're literal, like, they're powered by love. Their power literally comes from love and friendship. It's not a joke. Dark Knights get their power from love and friendship. They are literally, unironically, power of friendship. When he blasted that angel into nothing, he was using the power of love and friendship, and that's not a fucking joke. Okay, I've never played Final Fantasy. This is not what I would have expected. That's always the joke, though. You start out, like, playing a Dark Knight, and it's, like, super edgy and over the top, and then it slowly starts to boil the frog into the realization that, like, you're not really an anti-hero. In fact, you're more like a personal charity with a sword. Like, the thing Dark Knights do is they just go around looking for, like, really, really down on their luck people, like homeless people and stuff, to help. Sometimes just doing charitable work. They just have dark magic and a big-ass sword. Goes hard. Well, when they're doing it right, yeah, any powerful emotion can drive Dark Knights, but the purest ones are like love, friendship, devotion, or justice, yeah. Well, love and friendship are the most, like, that's how you become... I won't explain any further, I will spoil Dark Knight things. The name was originally Fighting Fantasy. Due to trademark conflicts with a role-playing game book of the same name, they settled for the English word final, which was well known in Japan. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it had something to do with, like, FF being an easy-to-pronounce acronym in like, for Western audiences or something, and Eastern audiences both. Like, just FF. Super easy. Both languages. All languages, really, apparently. Xanderhall, I'm so excited to get my Talon Terra and my Steel Samurai Beyblade tomorrow, since they're only, like, $7 a piece. Nice. I'm happy for your, Beyblade... Your Beyblade adventures, my friend. Dude, it's so overcast today. I've got this, like, dreary, white, sickly, pale light coming through my windows, lighting me up. And so I look like a ghost. I look like you could almost, like, stick your hand through my face and, like, it would pass through. Because I'm not really here. I look like I'm glowing. But not like I do whenever the sun is, like, blasting. Because this is just all diffused from the clouds. Getting that nice Seattle lighting right now. It's also called Final Fantasy because at the time the company was in a bad way, and no, that was a myth. Immutable Brew. That story I know because of videos that have explained that is a common myth. What is that flag in the background? That is the flag of Super Earth. Now you fucking salute it right now. Oh yeah, I saw this. Okay. Slashy, thank you so much for the $7 donation. I really appreciate that. That's so kind of you. Thank you, thank you. It really helps a lot. What a great way to start the stream. Thank you so much for the support. Sent me a link and said, is a highly requested segment suggestion from your Discord. I compiled the research for it, and Summerstar provided some assistance. Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you. I actually just opened that up now. I was going to cover that already. You guys have been recommending a lot of stuff I was already going to cover, but you guys send links that involve the topics I was going to cover, so that's still useful, because then I've got more things to include in my coverage that I might not have had before. So thanks. I really appreciate that, Slashy. Yeah, really good work. It's well organized, too. You did a good job with that. Good shit. Let me update the dono goal really fast. And of course, if you're watching right now and you want to support this... Oh no, I just bumped my mic. I hope that didn't hurt it. And you want to support the stream, please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live. You can also support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or supporting me by buying merch. The Streamlabs link down below as well. Or if you want to support me for completely free, just drop a like. Every thumbs up is like a cattle prod to the YouTube algorithm that pushes my content out to more people, and I really do appreciate it. The same goes for comments and subs and bell icons rung next to the sub button. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. It really helps, and I really do appreciate it. Man, my lips are dry. I need to use some of this chapstick. Oh. Super Earth, I salute thee. True. Yeah, we fight for managed democracy here. Zan, would you want to be a final boss? No, because then I have to get, like, fought by random heroes until I die. And they can respawn. You know, it's not a good deal. I don't want to be a final boss. Anyway, Pepper221, thank you for the $5 donation. How kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Said, POV, you're a Trump supporter, and Zan is finally bulked with quail eggs and protein shakes.
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping and seething.
I'm gonna be doing the fucking dance constantly. Just taking off my shirt and doing the fucking poses and singing that song every time I deal with a Trump supporter. I have been drinking those goddamn shakes, and oh my god, do they make you feel good. I'm not gonna lie. I can feel that I just wasn't getting the proper amount of calories every day into my body for, like, just general maintenance and sustenance of my entire being, because ever since I started drinking those big calorie shakes on top of my daily meals, I have just gotten so much more energetic, you know? Have I gotten any creatine? Yeah, I actually do have creatine. The first week, it was just like 5 scoops of creatine, if I remember correctly, and then you slowly, like, drop it down, and now I just do 1 scoop of creatine with my shake. Earth should be organized as a giant worker cooperative. I'm memeing. Please don't nuke me. No, it should be, honestly. Why not? Who am I to argue with you? No, scapegoat. I'm glad to see you're on your extra Sigma grind set, Galaxy Bomb 42. Keep it up. Keep it up. You will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. Okay.
Drop him.
All right, guys. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. This is a time to rejoice, my friends. Not only is Biden doing a great job as president at the moment, in a lot of different areas now, I feel I can very confidently and proudly say Biden is doing a great job, but Trump is getting his ass absolutely blown out right now, both in the realm of politics and in the legal system. Bro's stream is buffering. Mine certainly is not. I don't know if it's on your end, but I haven't dropped a single frame. No one else is complaining either. But like I said, Donald Trump seems to be in pretty hot water right now, and we're all doing pretty good. We're all sitting back, we're watching. It's pretty funny. The only downside is that this isn't going to last forever. You know, there's a good chance that Trump could potentially pull through and win in November, God help us, and that would kind of take away a lot of the benefit of this. But the silver lining is this could just be the prelude to the ultimate W for us of Trump losing in November as well, and just having just a massive succession of right-wing meltdowns. And so now it is time for us to sit back and enjoy the meltdowns. People across New York react to Trump guilty verdict. I've been searching and searching for videos of the right's reaction to Trump being found guilty. There's been quite a few videos I've found, some I haven't even seen yet, and the ones I have seen have all been hysterical. Genuinely hysterical.
Himself was greeted by supporters outside Trump Tower on Fifth Avenue.
And that is where we find CBS 2's Dave Carlin. Dave, what is the reaction there tonight?
Oh no.
Well, this place so busy with all of his comings and goings. Right now, he is inside. It began, of course, him going to court, then him coming back from court. Then around dinner time, he went out again and came back in. You'll see the video right now. Now, all the while, people have been here to greet him. After the sun went down, some staunch Trump supporters kept their flags waving, predicting another Trump presidency.
I wanted he be here because I think somebody has to stand up and say, this is invalid. You can't do this kind of law.
Don't you love the fact that people like this who are going to be dead in like 4 years are the ones who are going to vote for the guy that's going to doom the planet for another 100 plus? Like, they're all, for the most part, this old. Like, this, like genuinely at the age where you don't know if they're going to wake up the next morning. You're just like, you're just like right on the edge. Like, any day could be it, huh? Like, you're that old. I mean, he could be younger than he looks, but fuck, man. When you start looking this old, any day could be the day, you know? That's what I'd be thinking to myself. Trump's going to yoink their Social Security away. They all think that they are sitting in the group, the seat of Americans that the Republicans advocate for. Wealthy, retired, like what you guys in Britain land, if you're any Europeans watching, would call pensioners. Like these like retired old people that feel like they're wealthy because of retirement programs that the Republicans are going to gut.
This destroys American jurisprudence.
The message is it's going to backfire on the Democrats. It's going to backfire on Sleepy Joe. It's going to backfire on Alvin Bragg, and Trump is going to win. And I will vote for him for the third time, even if he's in jail.
Earlier, Chopper 2.
I can't tell if she's wearing an NYPD hat because she's a fan of the NYPD or a member of the NYPD. Either way, I mean, awful.
It was over Fifth Avenue and Trump Tower when the crowd was much larger with a mix of political persuasions. Friction was minimal.
That took a lot of courage for that jury to come back with that kind of a charge against him. I just think it's amazing.
I think he's going to make America great again.
Man, I hate the fact that so many liberals that are, like, happy about this are on the edge of tears about it, you know? It's like, I get it, but, like, fucking hell. Keep it together. Keep it together. We gotta be just, like, laughing, you know? Just laughing at him. That's the way to handle this kind of thing. You laugh.
Around 6:15 p.m., Donald Trump entered with a wave to the crowd. He did not stay long and was on the move again, only to return at 9:25. He was also the talk of nearby Times Square.
It shouldn't matter who you are.
Dude, if I was Trump, he lives at like the top of the tower, right? If I was Trump, I would be looking down, like, look at all those little ants down there outside the tower at the bottom. Look at all of them. They're like little bed bugs down there, just skittering around. How many do you think there are? How many are there? Like, that's what I'd be doing if there were just, like, a lot of people protesting beneath my, like, super mega death tower in the middle of New York City. just enjoying that view. I hope he enjoys it while he can. I hope he enjoys it while he can.
Or what you do, if you do the crime, you deserve what's coming to you.
It's insane. That's never happened before in history. So this is something that we're living, and I don't even know how.
God, New York is so crazy. Everything is so like. LA is like this too. When you're in like downtown LA, everything is so. The standard for what is currently modern in America, right? Like when you go to, like, I don't know, Times Square in New York City, like the McDonald's is a giant glass cube that looks like an Apple store. In fact, the first Apple store that looked like that was in Times Square. That's where that was established. The whole modern store is completely made of glass thing. You know, so everything's like that. Everything's so high-tech and futuristic designed, I guess you could say.
It's going to turn out. I'm shocked.
There is a Trump news conference Friday morning set for 11 a.m. right here. Live in front of Trump Tower, Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
All right, Dave, no shortage of opinions tonight. And after the verdict, Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, took to social media. She posted a childhood photo of herself sitting on her dad's lap with the words,
"Dude, you can't appeal. You can't appeal to this, like, Donald Trump father narrative, right? It just doesn't work. Which daughter was it? How many of Donald Trump's own daughters has he basically perved on national television? There was the one that he said was, like, so pretty she, like, could be a model like her mom one day. Like, on television while, like, putting his arm around her in a really creepy way. I forget the whole situation there. But wasn't there another one where he said that, he hopes that his daughter gets his wife's legs or something like that? Like, he said so much skeevy, creepy shit about, and like at one of these points, by the way, like his daughter who he's speaking about in this way is underage, like a child, like 9 or something. No, there's like a long list of weird pedo-y things Donald Trump has done that are just public. He said he hopes Ivanka has his wife's boobs. Was it really boobs? I thought it was legs. I mean, maybe it was boobs. I don't know. I heard legs whenever it was, like, retold to me, but to be fair, could have been a conservative dampening down how, like, bad it was to say to something slightly less inappropriate somehow. I don't know.
"I love you." She did not attend the trial.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is speaking out about the verdict. She issued a statement saying, quote, "No one is above the law." You may recall the AG's office did win a civil fraud lawsuit against Donald Trump.
I've got, like, sleep in my eyes, and it's, like, all making me have to blink it out. What the hell? No one is above the law. Law and order. Indeed, law and order. Donald Trump and his entire crew and his fan base are already now taking the, man, if they're trying, this is the narrative I hear lately from, like, even moderate conservatives. You know, if they're trying to make this look like, if they're trying not to make this look like they're weaponizing the legal system to go after him right before the election, they're really failing at it. And then, like, you'll reply, well, no, Donald Trump has delayed all of these trials for years and years and years, and now he can't delay it anymore. It could have been done a long time ago. It could have been done 3 years ago. It could have been done 6 months after he lost the election, and he kept delaying it. You can't keep saying the timing is convenient just because, like, now is when the election is about to happen, and this is when Donald Trump couldn't continue to delay it any further. And they're finally doing it. And he is still trying to delay it, but he can't anymore. He wants to delay it past the election. At this point, I don't really buy this idea that, like, Donald Trump gets to get away with everything, and any form of holding him accountable looks like they're going after him. As if the going after him isn't warranted. And they'll always retort, no matter how much of a case you make for this, that, well, they're failing to make it look like they're not going after him with the legal system. Xanderhall could be worse. My brother said I should have an easy time being a man because I have a big penis. This was in response to me talking about transitioning. What the fuck? Why would you, for one, why would you say that to me in this context? 2, why would your brother say that to you? 3, why would your brother think that? 4, why would your brother know? 5, once again, why would you tell me all that?
And the Trump Organization earlier this year.
Rudy Giuliani had this reaction tonight.
A very sad day for America. A very, very sad day for
I feel like you can basically make a rule for anytime somebody says America is having a bad day because a bad thing happened to one single guy, at that point you can pretty reliably, like 99.9% of the time maybe, just disregard everything they have to say and immediately assume they're full of shit. No one guy having a bad day means it's a dark day for America, okay? That's just an immediate confession that you don't have anything of value to say, in my opinion.
anyone who values justice and has lived by it. And I hope this gets reversed very, very quickly.
The former mayor and Trump attorney has faced his own legal troubles. Last month, Giuliani was indicted on felony charges related to alleged efforts to overturn President Biden's 2020 win in Arizona. And last year, he also lost a defamation lawsuit regarding his false claims about 2 election workers in Georgia.
And outside the courthouse,
every single court case they have brought themselves has failed because they just don't have any evidence for any, like, electoral fraud, any, like, fakery in the election, any corruption in the election or anything. All of this is grifting and virtue signaling. And just every time it fails, they say, see, the Democrats are in power and they won't let us seek justice and put our guy in power who should rightfully be in power. Like, they can't even own up and just say they don't care about democracy or, like, who actually wins the election, gets the most votes or anything. They can't even just admit that doesn't matter to them. They have to still pretend. They have to pretend like there's this, like, silent majority of Trump supporters that are being silenced by electoral voter fraud or something.
Voters on both sides of the political spectrum made their voices heard. A small but vocal group of anti-Trump protesters gathered in Lower Manhattan after that historic verdict came down. Just down the block, a small pro-Trump group awaited for the arrival of the former president's motorcade.
Oh my God, that goes crazy. Jesus Christ. Dude, we should get like 1,000 people together. Just me and like 999 of my own fans. And just like dress like this and walk. Like go to one of those protests like that. And just stand menacingly, still as statues staring at Trump supporters. Would that not go kind of hard? I feel like I could get 1/80th of my fans together into a 1,000 person crowd or close to it. We could do like a Washington or New York City meetup for that. You guys are gonna have to go buy jumpsuits and Trump masks. I will not provide them.
I believe, quite honestly, it's quite the clown show, but the American people aren't going to fall for it. This will just make Trump stronger.
And we're really thankful that
that is the narrative from the Trump supporters consistently, is that this is just going to make Trump stronger, but I don't know. I genuinely don't know if, like, these felony guilty verdicts are going to mean that, like, the average American who needs to be moved to vote for Trump is going to see this and go, oh yeah, I guess they are going after Trump. They must be trying to put down the guy who's fighting for us. I don't know if that narrative will work on them. God, why are my eyes so... My eyes weren't like this before I started stream. Just the second I went live, they got all, like, eye boogery. I don't know how else to describe it, like crusty. I got sleep in my eyes. It's bizarre. I did wake up only, like, 4 or 5 hours ago, to be fair.
That the New York jury was fair and listened and asked questions and came back with 34 counts guilty.
The protests were largely peaceful, and there were no reports of any arrests.
On Long Island tonight, people are also reacting to the verdict.
CBS 2's Lori Bordenero went to Florida.
I want to see the Trump supporter meltdowns. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter's where it's at. Let's see. That's January 6th footage. Republicans in my neighborhood react to Trump guilty verdict. This is what I just saw on Twitter. This looks eerily similar to where I used to live in Florida before I moved to California. Just that like gated community area in Florida that's just like there's so much of this in Florida. It's so like not the villages, no, it's just the villages is what everything in Florida neighborhood-wise has been modeled off of for like decades. So if you buy like a house in a suburb in Florida, if it doesn't look like this, it doesn't look very good. So this is honestly your best option. Yeah, it's really grim and uncanny. It's not great. Not fun to live in.
There is outrage in my Republican neighborhood. Nobody fucking cares.
Okay, this is just some random person on Twitter who's like, I guess, troll posting? That does look... Why did they post their neighborhood on Twitter? Oh, no. That's not a good... Guys, that's not a good own, posting video of your neighborhood on Twitter with street signs and the front of several houses. I already recognized it as Florida just by looking at it. Oh no, look at this guy. This guy looks like he is not happy about the guilty verdict.
Motherfuckers! Piece of shit! The judge is a piece of shit! The James is a piece of shit!
They just killed our country. You just fucking let them.
Bragg is a piece of
pussy
shit!
motherfucker.
I saw this earlier.
China!
Welcome to
China owns
You're Alvin Bragg.
you.
You're Alvin Bragg. Mr. Rodriguez. Officer Dillon is rolling in his fucking grave. Rolling in his grave. Officer Dillon is rolling in his motherfucking grave. Wait until we start spitting on you like Columbia University. You just fucking wait.
That's a terrorism threat, I believe. Last time we watched this, I'm pretty sure I came to the conclusion that was a terroristic threat there he just made. I don't know how he didn't get arrested. Wait, does it go on longer? Wait, there's more?
Holy shit, he was...
Why are people posting shorter versions than the long original?
Holy fucking shit! Motherfuckers! Motherfuckers! You suck! You suck! There is no justice in this
Gays for Trump.
Not guilty!
These are the gays for Trump, guys. These are what the gays for Trump look like. I think they might just be mentally ill. I think mental illness might be what brings a lot of people who are like gay or brown or trans or whatever, or women to Trump. I think for them, a lot of it is like just mental illness. And then like for your average like doughy white Cletus bro, I mean, obviously that there's a natural gravitation towards the guy from the get-go.
I'm guilty! You pieces of shit! Why the con? Eat shit and die! You're fucking corrupt,
Your
motherfucker!
fucking kids are all dead. Your kids are all fucking dead.
Shit!
All your
Piece
fucking
of
children,
shit.
they're all fucking
I
dead.
found guilty!
They're all fucking dead.
Yeah, motherfucker! Motherfucker!
How is no one interpreting this as a threat and arresting him?
There's no justice in this country! It's all corruption! It's all fucking corruption! I have a message for you! Fuck you, Juan the Con! Juan the Con! I'm fucking pissed!
Fuck you and fuck Joe Biden too.
Fuck Joe Biden! All I know is this. Fuckers! Fuckers!
I hope they're wearing the Trump diapers too, Dark Canuck. I hope
A
so.
whole nother animal and a whole new way. It's a lynching.
Oh.
It's a lynching. It's political interference. It's over.
It's just so fun to watch.
It's over. How do you feel? Corruption
Is one of us. He's one of us. And now they have only made the poll numbers go higher. I guarantee that's what you're going to see coming next.
White race savior 1488. You're browner than I expected.
Polls are going up. Donald Trump is going to win even harder. They're going to have to bring in Michelle Obama. They're going to have to bring in Michelle Obama, Big Mike, in August to try and fix things. But that's not going to work either. The numbers are going to go so high for Trump right now that it's over for Biden. It's over for the Democrats.
Fuck you, Judge Juan. Fuck you. There is no justice in this country. We want a democracy. This is America. You railroaded this man. He committed no crimes. Fuck you.
He's caught on video, like literally as this trial has been going, by the way, like we're getting wiretap video and like audio footage of him like committing the crimes, admitting to committing them on video when he was wiretapped without his knowledge. Like, oh, it's just, like he just is guilty. Like if you actually get these people into an argument, I imagine besides the ones that'll scream in your face and try to attack you, they'll all fall back to, well, like, okay, maybe he is guilty, but it's not even that big a deal what he's guilty for anyway. And they're just trying to attack him politically. That's the only reason they're going after him. So like, they do know that he's guilty. Trust me. They know. Yeah, this is one of the gays for Trump.
I'm mad as hell, as they say. I'm mad as hell. Let's take to the streets. Let's take to the fucking streets. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Let's take to the fucking streets. Good.
Let's take to the
traffic.
fucking streets.
Corruption in this country. They're convicted an innocent man. He committed no crime.
Oh my god. Immediately jumping to let's block traffic, the thing we say, like, climate protesters should be run over for. I don't know if you guys saw Andrew Tate's reaction. Andrew Tate tweeted something along the lines of, like, can I donate $1 million to free? And then he said, my N-word Trump, but with the hard R. I think this is a clip.
My nigger Trump was set up by the system, man.
He was set up by the system.
My nigger Trump.
They're trying to keep a black man down.
My nigger
in
Trump.
America, of all places.
My nigger Trump.
So he just says it now. Like, that's where we're at now? Really? Like, that's just where we're at, huh? 2024, right-wing content creators, these big, like, extremely wealthy, well-off, like, compound having. Well, this guy's currently, like, about to go to prison forever for sex trafficking and raping minors, so don't really get all that upset about it, chat. But, like, this is kind of where we're at, I think. I think the fact that he's dropping, like, the hard R N-word, like, repeatedly on his show now, I think that kind of shows the fact that he knows he's fucked and that he's going to prison very soon. Forever. Like, that it's over for him, that his career is going to be done very soon. And, like, he just doesn't care anymore. It's okay, Neo gave him the pass. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Americans react to Donald Trump being found guilty. Guilty, guilty, guilty.
Very scary. Very scary. We're in a third world country right now.
Very scary. We're in a third world country right now.
I feel like we live in the United States. It can happen to him. It can happen to any of us.
I feel like the justice.
If it can happen to him, it can happen to any of us. Guys, if you can get charged for falsifying documents in order to pay off a sex worker that you were fucking behind your pregnant wife's back, and covering it up, if it can happen to him, it can happen to you guys.
The system here in America actually works. The sad part of it is that it could have gone either way. But when he was found guilty on all 34 counts, job well done, justice system in America.
It might affect my vote, yes, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Just simply, I don't think we need a convict in office if that conviction sticks.
Damn, guys, there's a lot of people that are going to be like this. You got to think about it. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to vote for no felon. I don't like a lot. These are the people who don't want felons to vote. I don't know how many of them are going to agree to voting for a felon. I think Trump loses by a larger margin than 2020 this year. That's my bet. I'm putting my bets down. Trump loses by a larger margin than 2020 this election. Biden wins by an even stronger margin this election is my bet. Yeah, this guy seems like this guy was going to vote Trump because he said it changed his vote.
Our first reaction was sadness for America, sadness for Trump.
This guy's not changing his opinion. This could either be at like a road rally in Florida or it could be at the redneck yacht clubs that are all up the coasts of Florida where every weekend, usually on Sundays, especially on Memorial Day weekend, all weekend, a bunch of Trump supporters that are quite wealthy and have boats all just like dot across they just completely clutter together across the coast and the like shallows and along the sandbars, and they just get drunk as shit, blasting music like country music and partying with their Trump flags on their boats. We always call it Redneck Yacht Club growing up in Florida whenever you see them.
At the end of the day, it's only going to increase his support. Like every other time they indicted him.
I was not voting for him. I didn't vote for him in the past. I think he's a despicable human being. A jury of his peers found him guilty. He will appeal it.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. The guy who is like, what am I going to do with my time? All right, ex-military, I'm going to become a firefighter, a paramedic. Yeah, okay. Like, the kind of dude who becomes a firefighter or paramedic typically doesn't vote Trump. Right? Like, all of the boxes are checked that would make you think, like, at first glance, this guy's a Trump supporter. But, like, it takes actually caring about people and having genuine passion to help people and, like, concern for others and empathy to be a paramedic or, like, a firefighter, especially with, like, the things you're required to do, the amount of time you're meant to be on call, the training, the work you have to do, the life risk and everything. Like, you just don't meet a lot of, like, Trump supporters, it seems, in that field.
And, you know, I don't think this is a jailable offense, in my opinion. I mean, it's possible that they could send him to jail, but the next 3 trials, that's the important stuff.
I'm very happy because I don't feel anyone's above the law. And I think that this person has been paramount in dismantling our democracy up until this point.
We don't know what's going to happen next, but we'll prevail.
This is a Trump supporter.
We're here to support the president like we always do, and that's it. Simple as that.
They're just sycophants for a guy. They're fans of a guy. Like, the people they're interviewing that are happy about the charges are like, yeah, America is good, yeah, like good leadership for the country. We need that. Like, none of them are mentioning Biden, like how much this is a win for Biden, because none of them are like cultists for the Democratic Party. But these guys are literally followers of a single guy. No matter what he does, they will defend him.
It reminds us the importance of our judicial system, and everybody should be held accountable to the law. So I think that hopefully that's what worked here, and he gets what he deserves.
If they can do this to a president on...
If they can do it to him, they can do it to you. That's right, guys. If they can get him for breaking the law, they can get you for breaking the law.
Especially for what they've been going at the last 7 or 8 years on him.
I love this because the thing they've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years is trying to make this trial happen 7 or 8 years ago, and Donald Trump has continued to delay every trial he's in, and now a bunch of them can't be delayed anymore, right up against the election. He's done this to himself. He could have done this 3 years ago. He could have done this 6 years ago. He could have done this when he wasn't president. I'm pretty sure these charges come from before he was even elected the first time around.
They need to wake up because they're next. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
They're going to arrest you next, guys.
Crap.
They're going to arrest you guys next. They're coming for you next. They're coming for you next. Jesus Christ. We got any other funny clips? Oh, here's some copium. Here's some copium, guys.
Congratulations, Trump just won the election.
Trump just was convicted guilty, and he just won the 2024 election.
This is the copium before the meltdowns. Oh, this is the guy who was screaming before. So those videos we were watching before where they're screaming, those came after this. This is the denial phase of grief. They went through all the stages of grief at this protest. Their immediate reaction is like, oh, he just won, and just like the fake laughter turns to tears. Oh.
Congratulations, Trump just won the election.
Trump just was convicted guilty, and he just won the 2024 election. Fucking congratulations, Donald Trump. New York City loves you. Robert De Niro, you're a rat, motherfucker.
The cope. And it gets even funnier. Okay, I'm gonna rewind back up so we can see what he's like right after that. What his reaction is after that.
Fuckers!
Just a reminder. Shortly after, this is him.
They just killed our country. You just fucking let them. You fucking pussy motherfucker.
We're all owned by China. Welcome to China owns
Alvin Bragg.
They got to anger eventually. This is the anger portion of grief.
You are Alvin Bragg, Mr. Rodriguez. Officer David is rolling.
God. What else? What else we got here? Any more gold? Oh boy. It's over. 1776.
It's over!
Fucking dead!
Oh, this is another angle. Oh, it's another angle of the same video. Damn. God, scrolling through Twitter to find these makes it so tedious because so many people have like the same video caught from different angles and you can't recognize it at a moment's notice. So you click it and you play it and it's like, oh, no, I've seen that one. It's just we're looking from behind now. Completely opposite direction. We can see the cameraman that filmed the video we originally watched in that one. Alright, I can't find any more. Granted, Twitter's not the best place to look because it's pretty much exclusively conservatives these days. So they're not really posting their own copium all that often. I don't think he's screaming he's gonna eat the children. Yes, Slashy. What's this? What is this, War Penguin? Will it load? Donald Trump was indicted before anyone on Jeffrey Epstein's client list. Let that sink in. Yeah, the conservatives are desperately trying to argue, why did Donald Trump get charged before anybody on Epstein's client list? For one, Donald Trump is on there. And two, just always reply with this image. Like, you don't even need to argue with them. You don't have to say a word. You just have to press Control-V. A very unfortunate, self-owning line of argument they've tried to take here. Why is MAGA treating this lady this way? What is this? Media is coping that Trump is going to lose. Like the media is coping and saying Trump's going to lose, or coping that Trump's going to lose because they want him to win. I think a lot of the media, like on a corporate level, might want Trump to win when you consider how much of a tanking the ratings of every media outlet that involves news or politics took after Biden took office. It's just been a slow bleeding since. Oh yeah, I love this couple, the British couple that went there to look at the Trump supporters like it's a zoo. God, it looks like a scene in Planet of the Apes where, like, the humans are walking through, like, the crowd of apes, and they're all, like, screaming, and all the humans are, like, terrified, and Caesar's like, no! You know, it reminds me of that a little bit. Like, all the Trump supporters screaming at these two British people that are just normal.
Disgusting, aren't they? What disgusting people. What do you think about the response that happened? You were having a conversation with them. Well, we were actually here purely for entertainment value. We're from England.
Keep going, Joe.
Oh, God.
Take your own
Take your
Let us
tea.
handle it.
Get
Let us
the
handle
fuck
it.
out of my
We
car.
got it. Fuck the queen. Fuck the king.
Fucking cunt.
They're like this British couple is just like smiling ear to ear because they can't believe they've encountered these creatures and that they're real. Because like I imagine if you're not American, you think people like this must be rare. Like you think people like this are like an over exaggeration or rare or uncommon. No, you go into a room and you see at least one person like this in America. Or at least, like, they may not be wearing all of the Trump merch, but, like, you see them and you just immediately know they own an outfit like this at home. Maybe even a hood as well. Like, that is America.
Just stop.
Fuck out of here. Burn in hell, you liberal fuck.
I love that quote.
And we enjoy watching Trump on the TV, and we cannot. John! Oh.
They're chasing them. Interesting Trump statement. Go back to England, redcoats. Is this recent?
3 or 4 times more money than us, right? So crooked Hillary, crooked, you should lock her up, I'll tell you. Crooked Hillary.
Yeah, hey guys, let's not forget lock her up happened.
So crooked Hillary, crooked, you should lock her up, I'll tell you. Crooked Hillary spent 3 or 4 times more. So I want to be a little bit, I have to say that was a great campaign. And I don't want to change it. I don't want to have this incredible 2016, then go with something, and if something ever happened,
incredible
this country will go to
2016.
hell. Oh, I hate to see. Spent.
Good God, what a horrible year that was. Let's not let this be a repeat of 2016, huh? It has been so far. Have you seen the state of the internet? I mean, we just had Andrew Tate saying the N-word just outright, like, multiple times in a row. Like, and it's like he wasn't even trying to, like, do the white guy attempting to sound cool and say it with the soft A thing, like, free my boy Trump. Like, he didn't even do that. He just dropped the hard R, I guess, to offend black people. Which I don't know how that's going to work out for him, because I was under the impression that, like, a lot of Andrew Tate's community, he's black. No, he's not. No, Andrew Tate is not black. Andrew Tate does not get to say it, okay? He's like Romanian. Listen, Andrew Tate is literally a skinhead at this point. His dad is black, look it up. Yeah, here's the thing, though. I don't think that... So if Nick Fuentes said, free my, and then, like, I don't know, a slur for Latin people, and then, like, I don't know, a person who did, like, would that not be racist? Like, what? Obviously it was meant to be racist. Yeah, I was not, yeah, Andrew Tate does not have the pass. I don't care if Andrew Tate is actually super black, and he actually has 3 black parents. I don't care. Andrew Tate can't say it. He genetically does not have the pass. He lost it. He lost it when he started Hustlers University. I took it from him. I burned it. Bro dropped 2 pounds just to give the entire chat psychic damage. The, Andrew Tate. He did look like he'd lost weight. Like, granted, he's been locked up, so he's probably not able to, like, do all the things that he needs to do to stay bulked. One of them might be keeping up steroid regimen. Would he be down to react to my... No, not right now, no. Anyway, though, if you enjoyed the segment, please consider dropping a like. It really helps a lot. No matter when or where or what you're watching, every single like or thumbs up really helps the channel and my videos a lot, so I really appreciate it. And of course, if you want to go the extra mile, you can comment down below for a similar effect as well and compound that. And you can also subscribe and ring the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video. And of course, don't forget to follow my social medias linked down below in the description. And be sure to follow my, to go to my website. And if you want to support me financially directly, you can donate, subscribe, or gift a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through Streamlabs as well. God, my throat is dry. And of course, don't forget, if you haven't already, to join my fan Discord. It's linked down below in the description. It's the main hub of my fan base and community. It's where I host watch parties, game events, and call-in streams, as well as hosting a watch party tonight immediately after stream. We're watching more Rings of Power, episodes 4, 5, and 6, so be sure to hop on board. Even if you haven't watched up to this point, you should hop in anyway, because the show's got good recaps, and I like having people in the watch parties. Mind you, like, you just have to join the Discord chat. Like, people join it, like, the watch parties, and they're like, wait, we can just watch? And it's like, yeah, we can. So if you didn't know, there's no, like, barrier to entry to getting into the watch party than joining the Discord and hopping in VC. So make sure you do that. Make sure you're ready to join the watch party tonight. I hope to see you there. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I hope you have a good one. Alrighty. How'd you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. I'm gonna kill you, Hash. One sec, I had to shut off that space heater. It was cold when I started streaming, but now I am actively sweaty. Zan, you should charge entry into the watch party, then Tahiti. That would be fun. That would be fun. I would like to charge entry for the watch party and be able to make more money, but sadly, I prefer the camaraderie of having lots of people watching stuff with me over money. I simply like money as like a means of getting fun. But if I can just get fun instead, isn't that just like the fast, like isn't that just like getting what I want with less steps, you know? So no, we're not going to charge for the watch parties. We're not going to do that. That's also big illegal. Big illegal, yeah. True. Oh, yes. Allow me to update the dono goal really fast. Or not the dono goal, the list and then the dono goal. Hey, Her West, shut up. Alrighty. Before I start the next segment, I'm going to run and grab a monster because I am drowsy today. Granted, it's already 3 p.m. Makes sense. I did sleep in, and so that tends to affect your wakedness throughout the day. But monster should perk me right up. So I'll be right back. Gonna go grab one. I won't be gone long, so don't go anywhere. I certainly am not. I have returned and I got my monster. When does stream start? Stream started an hour and 19 minutes ago. T lost a lot. I do need a be right back screen so people know that I am being right back, not just now starting or ending. Fake fan, fake fan, fake fan. Where is my mod status? Let me fix that. Enjoy your ban, Ocular. Nah, I'm gonna give you mod. Mooberator. Wait, you have moderator, don't you? Contributor. I see. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Let me go to users. If you make another new account on my website, I'm going to eat you. Like Dracula Flo eats his ops. I'm going to eat you. Sorry, I don't make the rules, but I'd have to eat you. Well, you're already an admin in the chat. What do you mean? You're already an admin. Fine, I'll give you moderator. I think this makes you a pink, though, does it not? Wait, no, you were already an admin. Yeah, okay, here we go. I will, however, give you... I will give you the VIP thingy. There we go. Now you can talk, Hash, and you've got like a little thingy. You should stand out more with your contributor and your VIP. Or maybe it'll just give you one. Maybe both, I don't know. Oh no, it just gives you the one. I guess contributor's the highest one, so that's your little symbol. Ocular is Hash, by the way. Lucky Otter. I'm talking to Ocular right now. Yeah, different name. Different name. Anyway, Pepper221, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Very based, very pog. It helps a lot. Says, sorry, you mentioned Trump commenting on his family, and I thought, damn, that happened to me, but weirdo. Weirdo? Weirder. Take this meme as penance. What is this?
You've overextended.
Wait, is this a... This better not be a spoiler. Dance off at Hoover Dam? This might be a spoiler, but I'll watch it.
Extended yourself, Leggett, so I'll give you a chance. Before we decide the fate of New Vegas with blood and iron, how about we settle this like civilized folk? A dance-off. Winner takes the dam.
A dance-off? Your NCR softness knows no bounds, Oliver. But if it spares my men a lengthy siege, I accept. Prepare to be outmatched.
We'll see about that. Boys, let's show them how the Republic gets down.
Okay. Okay. So this is how it ends, huh? I mean, I guess there's a lot of ways to resolve the ending. From what I heard, you don't have to fight. There are a lot of different endings.
Impressive. For a gathering of degenerates, legionaries, formation.
Well, I didn't expect you to actually know how to dance without decapitating someone.
And I did not expect to find amusement in such frivolous
I hope they end up just being friends now.
activity. Yet here we are. The dam is yours, Oliver. Today, the Legion dances. Tomorrow, we may not be so festive.
Agreed, Leggett. Let's call it a draw for today. No bloodshed, but plenty of pride, perhaps, on both sides.
That's so fucking dumb. That's the canon ending of New Vegas so that the second season of the Fallout show can happen and we can have Caesar's Legion, the NCR, and New Vegas and Mr. House and everybody all be in the show and it still makes sense. That's the canon ending. Is that they just keep on having daily dance-offs at the top of the dam for like 100 years. You know? Trump went up in the polls. I mean, the polling doesn't matter, though. Trump was up in the polls when he lost in 2020. And Trump was down in the polls when he won in 2016. People say it's a good thing that Trump is up in the polls, but Trump was up in the polls when he lost in 2020, and he was expected to lose in the vast majority of polling in 2016 when he won. That was the big meme, was that, all the polling said Trump would lose, and he still won back in 2016 when he won, and then all the polling was like, oh, Trump will probably win in 2020. It's looking like 50-50, and Tim Pool and everyone was saying, Trump landslide, 365 electoral vote landslide to Trump is eventually what he was saying. And there was a lot of people saying he'd win, and then he lost in 2020. I don't think that the polling is really as suggestive of who's going to win as you'd think. I'm not saying it's going to be the opposite of who the polling says. I'm saying that the polling is selecting for a group of people who are very likely to vote, and thus are very motivated to support whichever candidate they support. And most of Biden's supporters, both in 2020 and now, are very unenthusiastic. They're just going to kind of drag ass to the polls or probably mail-in ballot vote. 12 jurors just re-elected Trump. 2020 was a joke of election. We've got a Trump supporter very mad in YouTube chat. They're spamming that, like, their copium in chat. 12 jurors just re-elected Trump. Okay. You're totally right, man. You're totally right. That's why you're not crying right now as you type that. Have you guys ever encountered that? Where, like, a right-winger online will just, like, try to blindside you by making something up like that on the spot? That's like, we already won. You just have to be very tapped into politics to know that Trump just got decided the actual president in a court that just happened very secretly. You have to read InfoWars to know about it. Okay. Donald Trump's actually been the president the last three years, believe it or not. Thank you for the $5, Pepper221. The truth, it is scalding, and now you are molding and coping and seething. They've seen the documents. Anyway, Florence the Lizard, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you. So kind. What a very generous donation. So the primary election for Las Vegas's mayor is on the 11th. Ooh, we gotta follow that. We gotta follow that while playing New Vegas. That would go crazy. If, like, on one, like, I'm playing New Vegas and, like, every quest we tab out and check in on the election results and how it's going for the Las Vegas mayoral race. That is true. Elliot Page will never be a real woman. Elliot Page will simply never be a woman. I love saying that to trans people. You will never be the thing you transitioned from. Just get them with that, like, cliffhanger and then nah, you're all good. Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun. Don't do that, chat. I don't recommend that, actually. Xbox record that. Oh yeah, chat. For those that don't know, the Xbox record that thing comes from Oculair. I told my chat about Xbox record that as your way of saying clipped, and now they use it, and so now they know that you're the one who conceived of that. Yeah, Oculair, you made a meme. You're a trendsetter. You set a trend. You made a meme that people are now quoting. Yeah. Genuinely, I think the meta for, like, trans people is to convince transphobes that they transitioned from the gender they're transitioning to. Because at that point, they're the most affirming people you'll ever encounter. Just get them to scream in your face, you'll never be, like if you're a trans man, you'll never be a woman. And then if you're a trans woman, just get them to scream in your face, you're a man, you're a man. Or like, I forget, I might have gotten mixed up, but like get them, like they'll be screaming angrily, insisting that you are the gender you identify as, and it'll probably feel quite good. I did mix it up. Well, listen, I'm tired. And I talk all day for a living. I'm bound to eventually misspeak, to fumble, to get my tongue tied in a tongue twister. Tell a transphobe that trans woman means they're transitioning from a woman today. Yeah, that would be funny, yeah. No, trans women is when they're transitioning from being a woman to a man. So they're actually really a woman, and then you convince them you're transphobic too, and you get them on board, and then all of a sudden they're accidentally not transphobic anymore. See if you guys can get your politically out of touch but somewhat transphobic uncles and grandparents to believe this, chat. We need to do an experiment. Why do men have nipples? Why do men have nipples? Why do we have them? It's vestigial, right? That men have nipples at all? Although no, regardless, I guess it makes us perfect for being able to transition, right? Is that every, for the most part, every individual has what they need to transition. And that might be kind of unique for humans, outside of, the animals that can literally do that as part of their, existing, like frogs and stuff, where they can just, literally swap their sex as needed. It's because nipples are formed in the womb before sex is determined? Yeah, it's that whole, everybody's female before their sex is determined thing, yeah. Yeah. So when you really think about it, if you're a trans woman, you're just going back. You're transitioning back to being a woman. Because everybody was to begin with. As much as it pains me to say, because this also applies to me, and I like being a man, and I hate that. That's the kind of thing that I feel like you guys are just huh, well, Zan, you were a woman once. God damn it. Actually, no. I started out as a dick and balls. That's what started. They looked in the ultrasound, and there was just a dick and balls floating in the uterus or whatever, wherever the baby develops. That's what started. I started with that. At no point did I have female anatomy in development. I started as a dick and balls and a brain. And from there, the rest of me grew out of that. We all start out as a butthole? Is that real? The uterus, or wherever the baby develops. I developed in my mom's neck, and they thought she had a gizzard. Listen. Sometimes they grow them in tubes, okay? I don't know. They created dick and balls in a test tube, and from that grew Xanderhall, birthed from the tube of Lock and Load and Monster. Yeah, it's about accurate. Sprinkle a little bit of weed in there. Abstract ball of simultaneous light and dark. Do not trouble me with your gender. True. That is a good way to explain being non-binary or gender fluid or whatever. What's this? What have you sent me? Is this Helldivers related? Oh. Yep, it happened. So has the singularity been created yet with the dark fluid? gonna collapse into a black hole, right? Yeah, it's gonna... Yep, I saw this in the leaks. Yep, this is... Oh shit. That's cool. Nice. So yeah, this apparently happened in game not too long ago. So yeah, this is the setup for the Illuminate coming to the game. If you didn't play Helldivers 1, or you don't know about Helldivers 1, the third faction that humanity fights, the most advanced, scary, powerful faction, are the Illuminate. And they've been banished out of the galaxy for, like, hundreds of years. This is going to be their way back in. Like, we already know because of data leaks, but now it's finally happening. This is the portal. They're going to come through that. So they're going to I guess they're going to advance from the Terminid front. Maybe not, though. Maybe this is just canonically where they're coming in from. Damn. Crazy that we can actually, like, look at it. Like, we can... Oh, that's true. Males can produce breast milk, too. That's the crazy thing. Like, if I don't know how you make it happen, but it's possible. It can happen. Like, if you were born male, you can produce breast milk. Like, even if you don't transition. Like, apparently you can. So, hormones is how? Oh, it involves hormones? I thought you could do it even if you don't transition. I don't know. Listen. I'm not an expert on that area of medicine. Who would win in a fight, Helldivers or the NCR Rangers? Ooh. NCR Rangers are better trained. That's the big question. NCR Rangers are a lot better trained. Let me... Hold on, one sec. I am checking the Helldivers Leaks subreddit. Doesn't seem like there's been any new leaks in a hot minute. Oh, damn. A bunch of the shit's been copyrighted down off the subreddit. Maybe the subreddit's been taken down. That'd explain it. If the Helldivers have Hellpods, I think they just win by landing on top. They win by sheer numbers, yeah. Wait, it lets me jump back to Meridia? Man, you guys are making me want to boot up Helldivers 2 on stream. You can't make me do this. I haven't played in weeks. I'm gonna get, like, immediately capped on medals from major orders the second I log in. Nah, I got work to do. We gotta do a watch party of Rings of Power after stream. You're playing Helldivers 2 while listening? Hell yeah. Good job spreading that democracy. Unfortunately, I can't really get back on Helldivers and grind because I'm busy grinding FF14 to get to the end of Endwalker by the end of the month so I can play Dawn Trail when it releases. Because that's the new expansion coming out. This is the one that, I mean, I guess spoilers for FF14, I guess, because this is the Dawn Trail trailer. So if you haven't finished, what a tone this trailer has. This might be what gets a lot of you guys into it. This trailer is the start, or this expansion is the start of, like, a completely new story arc for the game. How long am I planning on streaming today? A few more hours at least. This trailer is fantastic. I love Square Enix's trailers. They're very well made, very well animated. This expansion is supposed to be the start of a whole new storyline, so I'm excited to finally be caught up in a Final Fantasy expansion at the start of a whole new storyline, which, you know, the way Final Fantasy does it is it's like 4 or 5 expansions long story arcs. So you're going to be spending like a decade in one storyline, and it's like well done too. So by, you know, 10 years from now, we're going to be finishing up the story arc this expansion is starting, but I'm hyped to finally be there on the ground floor. Spoiler alert, I guess. here's the Dawn Trail trailer. This is a very different tone. The game's getting a huge graphics update too with this expansion.
Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
This is not gameplay. Yeah, One Piece expansion. We're literally going to South America. We're going to a new continent that's just South America. Magic South America.
Come now. There's no cause for panic. This one might make for a worthy opponent.
Dragoons are so cool. Dragoon was my first class. Really, Shadowbringers and like Endwalker's so depressing you had to take breaks because the plot is so dark. Yeah, this is a pretty light switch in tone from Shadowbringers especially. Endwalker apparently gets way darker. This is the new class, Viper. I'm gonna be playing Viper in this expansion, obviously. Oh, this is not gameplay once again. The graphics update is beautiful, and it's modeled after these graphics. Like, this is what they modeled the new graphics off of, but it doesn't look exactly like this. The models look almost like this, though. Like, the character models are getting close to this. Unfortunately, it still has to run on consoles, so the environments aren't quite perfect. Viper. I'm excited to play this class. This sure blows away WoW. This is like the jungly sort of, I don't know where you would say this is, like Brazil, Argentina, Chile kind of area. Inspiration. This is the new class as well. Pictomancer. I don't know if I'll play this class. It's a little too gay for me, chat. But women are gonna love this class, I guarantee. All the gamer girls. The new effects, though, look insanely good. Like, this is one of the prettiest looking classes when it comes to the effects. Oh yeah, all the classes, none of them are new. They're all from another Final Fantasy game. And that's the rest of the map. Well, a lot of it. Oh, FF14 is very woke.
Behold the sea.
This game explicitly allows cross-dressing, and the reason why it allows it is because the main director guy of the game, Yoshi P, was walking to work one day and saw a school kid who was trans, and, like, I forget what the exact story was, but, like, was a fan and, like, stopped him because she played the game and she was a trans girl, and asked him why, 'cause she started her character as, like, a male character when she didn't know she was trans, and then, like, wanted to know, like, is it possible to make, like, a trans character in Final Fantasy? Why can't I get, like, feminine hairstyle, clothing, like effectively cross-dress? Why is that not allowed for my character? And Yoshi P was like, huh, good point. And then he made that possible. And told that story as well when asked about it. And so, yeah, the director of the game and like everyone involved in it is very base. The only person who's not is the vocalist for the songs that are used in the first 2 expansions. The Susan Calloway lady who sings Answers and the song that plays when on the final steps of faith in Heavensward. She's transphobic as fuck. But she's not even part of the team, so I don't think she's gonna get welcomed back.
Scene of our next great adventure.
You and your adventures. I trust you have not forgotten the true purpose of our voyage.
At last, we are come to the land you call the New World.
This game has furries. Funny? No, that's a cat person. There are 2 types of cat people in this. Like human-looking cat people and cat-looking cat people. She's not allowed back on the team. Based. Epic. She's been banned from fan events. That makes sense. Yeah, Final Fantasy XIV goes hard. Been grinding the hell out of it. He's just like me for real. One Piece! One Piece! Okay. Do you have to beat everything up to this point to play it? Yes. Well, I guess you could get a skip, but at that point, you're paying a lot of money for, like, giving up really good content. Just play up to that point. Trust me, it's everything. It is a very story-heavy MMO. It was built to be basically a Final Fantasy game that exists in an MMO setting with lots of cooperative multiplayer content, but all of it was made with the story of the main, like, MSQ and the experience of the MSQ first and foremost. So when you log on, you can play through the entire game solo without having to make any friends, call anybody, get onto a call, or communicate with people. You can do that, but there are so many things to do with friends that, like, the fact you don't have to work with people and talk to people makes you want to. Like, you hop into, I can't even describe it. If you've played, like, WoW or any other MMO, you're used to a very torturous, gameplay experience that just isn't what FF14 does. Think of it more like playing a game that has, like, a really good story that's almost like keeping up with a TV show you're really into. All the while, you're, like, gearing up, getting stronger, and you're running, like, dungeons and raids and all sorts of cool content with your friends. Also, any Nier, like, fans in chat, like Nier Automata game, I've never played them, but I know this little detail has gotten a lot of people into the game because it's true. Any Nier fans in chat? I imagine at least some have to be in here. It's pretty popular. Oh, hell yeah, Nier. For those that don't know, the canonical ending of Nier, like the Nier storyline ending, like the ending of that story of that game franchise is in Final Fantasy XIV. It's a raid series called the Nier Raids. They did a crossover with the development team for Nier, and like you meet the characters, you fight enemies from the game, you are canonically entering the world of Nier and helping to complete the story. Because in the story of FF14, your character is you are entering Nier to help complete the story, and you canonically complete the story of Nier in Final Fantasy XIV in the Raid series they did as a crossover. There's also, like, they did a Fall Guys crossover, and anything they cross over with in Final Fantasy XIV has to work in with the story. So the Fall Guys crossover means that the Fall Guys are now, like, lore, are now canonically a thing in Final Fantasy, and they're Void Sent. They're demons from, like, the Void, are what the little Fall Guys creatures are in Final Fantasy lore. And presumably that applies to the lore of Fall Guys, because it was a crossover. I wonder if they'll do a Fallout crossover. They literally could. They literally could. FF did an AC Origins crossover in, like, 2017? Really? That's fucking wild. Like, FF14 did? I might want to play that, was it like a raid series? Is it available still? That goes hard. Yeah, there's, like, so many crossover, like, raid event type things that you can do with your friends that give you, like, cosmetics from that franchise once you complete the boss fights and stuff. So, like, you can get, like, a hoodie and hat from Fall Guys after you complete the Fall Guys event, which is literally Fall Guys in FF14. Like, the event is literally just playing Fall Guys in FF14 as your character with Fall Guy, like FF14 physics and stuff. You have to win a round of Fall Guys in Final Fantasy XIV to get the hat and the hoodie and stuff. It's funny. It's really cool. It's a fun game. Very kept up on with events and live stuff, and I enjoy it a lot. I've got a lot of friends on it, and if you want to join me on it, I recommend you type !FC in my website chat, and you'll get a link to my Discord server for the free company. People in there will be able to help you get the game installed and set up with the free trial. Fall Guys are canonically demonic. Why does that make so much sense? Not even really demonic. They're void sent. They're literally just made of darkness, is my understanding. I don't really know much about void sent yet, because I haven't played that far, but, like, that's as much as I know. What happened to Rust? I will be playing more Rust when I catch up on FF14. I've got a lot on my plate, okay? I gotta stream, I gotta upload, I gotta do stuff in my real life to keep my... I'm still working on getting all of the cobwebs in this place dusted. Every day I wake up and I, like, walk into a room, I'm like, alright, I think I've gotten all of the dust and cobwebs that accumulated before I moved into this place. And I'll look up and I'll be like, son of a bitch, I didn't get... There's like a whole ass spider web up in the corner over there, like in my bathroom. And I'll have to, like, deal with that. It's summer now? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Quail soon, my friends, yes. Obviously, still looking for a camera that I can afford. Because currently, funds are kind of low, considering how I haven't been streaming and uploading as much. But, Quail should be coming soon. Unfortunately, I might have to, like, raise them a little bit into the fall, which isn't going to be ideal, but... I can put foil and heater lamps up if I have to, or always keep them inside. But it's ideal if I can get them set up, like, in the next month is ideal. I've already ordered their food. Their food's already here. I've got their high protein feed, and I've got their high calcium feed. So if any of them come out and they're looking a little weird in the legs or the wings or anything that involves their skeletal structure, like they might have a crooked neck, they might have like a weirdly bent ankle, it can happen when they hatch out of the eggs. You want to give them high calcium feed because it's going to encourage healthy bone growth. Their bones are really soft and malleable when they first hatch, and the food they eat, if it's high calcium, is going to encourage their bones to, like, grow healthily from that point. So oftentimes, certain issues that occur in the quail when they're initially hatched can be solved with a simple diet change. And so you need high calcium feed and your normal growth feed, which is high, very high protein and fat, for the chicks to, like, switch around on. And then once they become full-grown hens or mature enough to start laying each day, then you need to start giving them a decent amount of calcium in their mix, because they need the calcium for producing eggs, so they'll go into a deficiency, and this can lead to some serious problems when they run out of calcium for producing their eggs. And you don't want to like crush up the eggs either. A lot of people say, no, you can just crush up the eggshells. You don't want to do that. You don't want to give your birds a taste for their own eggs, or they'll become egg eaters, and you have to get rid of them, or you'll never be able to harvest another single egg from your coop ever again. I'm excited for the quail stuff. It's coming soon. As you can tell, I've been getting a little bit into the quail content behind the scenes. I've been watching a lot of quail stuff lately because we're getting close. Man, camera equipment, though, is a little bit of an issue. It's kind of expensive. Like, so expensive, I could buy a graphics card. When you're doing the podcast, I don't know when the podcast is going to happen, because I haven't talked to Demon Mama since the Keffels thing happened months ago. So, like, I don't even know where we stand right now. I think we're friendly. I mean, I don't have any, like, negative feelings towards Demon Mama. But, I don't know. I haven't talked to, like, Vosh, Demon Mama, or any, like, really many people in the online left since the whole Keffels thing happened, and none of them have talked to me. So, I've kind of taken that as a pretty clear message of, like, probably not on the best of terms. Maybe Mr. Inedible. Usually I prefer to, just wait and see if somebody is, like, interested in talking to me. I'm not much of, like, a, like, reach out and make contact with someone kind of guy. The primary... Oh, yeah, we already read that one, Florence Lizard. Thank you. T. Loslot, thank you for the $10 donation. That's extremely kind of you. How generous. Thank you. Said, I've been trying to gift a sub to Wingo, but I keep getting an error. Please accept this instead as imagine Wingo as blue. Huh. It's really weird how it's not letting you gift subs specifically. I wonder if that's like an issue with the... I don't know. I don't know. Well, T. Loslot, thank you for the $10 regardless. I don't know why the gifted subs are being weird. I guess the randomized gifted subs still work, but giving them to a specific person doesn't? Oh, excuse me. Very weird. Very weird. Well, thank you for the $10, T. Loslot. And then Perry Icefire, thank you for the $5. Very based and pog of you. Said, I've been doing quick, rough sketches on your wizard design. Haven't decided on what the final would be yet. How do you feel about capes and long coats? Do you want anything specific? I like wizards with a long coat. I'm not a big fan of like a cape, but a wizard with a long coat. I mean, I've always loved Gandalf, okay? Gandalf has always been, for me, the best wizard, and he's not even a wizard. But he is the perfect, ideal archetype of a wizard, physically. Hunter Avalon I'm on good terms with, actually. Yeah, I will say, one person who I have spoken to on the online left who I'm definitely on good terms with is Hunter Avalon, yeah. Me and Hunter are definitely cool. Yeah, there's definitely, there's nothing going on with me and him. There's not really anything going on with me and anyone right now. It's just like, I haven't spoken to anybody that's like a content creator in the online left since all that happened. Just because it's, internet friendships are weird. And I've got a lot of IRL stuff to focus on, particularly involving stream stuff and quail stuff, as I mentioned before. Scapegoat, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. Said Zan, the Chuds are going after Silent Hill for a single frame of a character. Are they now? Oh. Yeah, I saw this. I mean, this person got ratioed, I think, and I'm pretty sure the Britbong dude is, like, despised by the whole internet, so I don't think he even has that much support. But I'm sure other people are probably pushing that as well. That might end up being discourse eventually. We will see. Yeah, potentially to Lancer, for sure. Pepper221, thank you for the $5 donation. How kind of you. Thank you so much. That's very generous. Said if I had a nickel for every time a fantasy game made Mayan lizard people an entire race, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened 3 times. I'm sure it's happened more than 3 times, actually, but thank you for the $5. Very kind of you. And Lefty McLefterson, thank you for the $20. Wow, that is extraordinarily generous. Says, I won't be playing Final Fantasy, at least for a long time, but it looks pretty great. Been having too much fun in Helldivers 2, and this game. And sent me a link. What's this? I get that. Like, knowing you'll probably like a game so much that the game you're already playing right now and enjoying, you don't want to, like, switch off of. This looks neat. It's definitely not my cup of tea. This is definitely in the Doom universe. Is this like a Doom multiplayer game? It looks very reminiscent of Doom, like the newer Doom games. Like if they made it a multiplayer FPS. Huh. It's on in Unreal. That's cool. Nice. Just not a really big fan of FPS, like PvP FPSs. If it's like an environmental, like PvE FPS, I have fun. But if it's like a PvP FPS, typically not my thing. Yeah, One Piece. Regardless, is probably not a good time for a podcast even then, because election year. It's an FPS series from the 90s. Well, thank you, Lefty McLefterson. I really appreciate the $20. Extremely generous of you. Very based. Very pog. Let me update my dono goal really fast. Look how generous you guys have been. $72. Very nice. Thank you, guys. It's called Tribes. So the podcast between you and Demon Mama is fully canceled. No, it's not fully canceled. When did I say it was canceled? I just said I don't know when it's starting at this point. And, like, it's also election season, so I don't know if that's, like, on the table for Demon Mama. For one, I have to get the camera before I do the podcast. Once again, the camera I need to use for Quail is the camera I'm going to use for the podcast, because I plan to set up a couch and a camera on a tripod back there and set up lighting, which I already have the lighting right over there, the Elgato key lights. But I need to get the camera on the tripod and a couch. I can get that set up. I already have one. Move down here for like a proper set. Don't worry, guys. But it's a whole process, you know? These things aren't cheap. These things aren't cheap. In fact, they're so expensive that it hurts. It actually hurts. She might do it post-election. That's probably, like, for the best. But, yeah, it genuinely hurts how expensive DSLR cameras are. Anyway. Like, ones that can film in 1440p. Okay. Segment time. All right. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, guys. Oh, boy. We haven't talked about this in a while. Do you guys remember Illuminati? The original YouTube mass manipulator? The original evil bitch? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. We haven't talked about Illuminati in a while. Things have been quiet on the front of Illuminati. She has been attempting to engage in legal attacks against her former friends and those that have dared to speak out against her. She has been trying to shut down with what are effectively slap suits, which I think just are slap suits. And from my understanding, most have failed. And I'm glad to see there's been continued support for the people that Illuminati has fucked over, one of them being Oz Media, who just recently, as in yesterday, put out a new video called Dear Illuminati. Now, for those who don't know, Oz Media is one of the people who's been getting some of the most attacks from Illuminati. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to misspeak here if this is incorrect, but wasn't one of the people that Illuminati has been attacking, like, Illuminati's ex from one point? Was it Oz Media? This is a question, not a statement. Oz was Illuminati's ex-fiance. Oz is her ex. Okay, ex-fiance. Yeah. I know that, like, the things that Illuminati said about Oz were very insane, extreme, and over the top, with no evidence provided. It was, of course, all saying things. And the things that Oz was able to demonstrate with evidence that Illuminati did were really bad. Oh my god. Can't stop burping. And with that said, most people just kind of sided with Oz, and rightly so, I'd say. But apparently there's been an update to the situation. All I know is that for like the last 6 to 8 months, there's been continued legal pestering from Illuminati, which from what I have heard haven't been going well for her, but it's also not ideal for the people she's pestering. So let's get the news. Let's find out what's going on. Let's get the lore dump.
Well, here we are. Round 2. Blair, if you or your lawyers are watching this, I implore you to at least watch the outro, preferably before June 7th. This is not the monstrosity of a documentary against Blair's actions. If anything, think of this as the prologue. We're here right now because Blair, owner of Pyramid Entertainment LLC, or better known as her public YouTube personality Illuminati, is currently in the process of suing me, as well as other prior employees for defamation and other claims. This video, as well as its subsequent parts, will serve as a public record of exactly what is going on behind the scenes. Throughout these videos, I will actively be showing all and any evidence related to dismantling her claims against me, as well as the other parties she's involved in this misplaced legal crusade of hers. Seeing as I know this video will be heavily scrutinized by Blair's legal team, hi, and perhaps even shown in front of a court, also hi, I am fully willing to submit this video and its subsequent parts to the courts as further evidence, as I am willing to stand by these words, as I'm treating this as though I'm speaking under oath. I'm also not stating this to add an air of authority to my words, as Blair's legal team has previously proposed. I want the truth known. And to do so, I'm going to publicly dissect her claims within this lawsuit to essentially lay bare my defense, as well as the defense for other parties involved. My section of the lawsuit will be covered in part 2, as I'm awaiting litigation privileges.
I assume the only issue I would have with this is make sure your attorney is okay with this first, because, you know, sometimes talking about something like this can harm your standing. I don't know exactly how, but generally lawyers say don't talk about a legal case while it's happening, but maybe this is an exception. You just kind of do what your lawyer tells you to do. Did you talk to the lawyer first? Yeah, just making sure.
Before I explore my portion of the lawsuit publicly. Despite this, there is still plenty of information on the ongoings in this video. My lawyer is aware I'm doing this. These legal proceedings have been ongoing for the past 8 to 9 months at this point in time. If it wasn't for the assistance I received with the GoFundMe back in September, I would not have been able to mount a legal defense. Of the amount donated, GoFundMe takes a fee with each donation. This can be seen on screen here with this nice little chart breakdown they provide. At this point in time, which more information can be found as an update in the original GoFundMe, this lawsuit has cost over $40,000. I've been posting all of my legal invoices for full transparency, and more will be posted soon.
So yeah, this is what's called a slap suit. It's when somebody who's powerful and wealthy doesn't like that somebody that's less powerful and less wealthy is saying negative things about them. And so they engage in a torrent of frivolous lawsuits that will drain the funds, the meager funds of the person that they are trying to take down far before they run out of money because, you know, they've got plenty. It's one of the most blatant ways in which the system is geared for powerful, wealthy people to just weigh down on those with less money and less power. And that's what Illuminati's doing. Just a torrent of lawsuits that, you know, Oz has to spend money on and raise money on in order to afford to fight against, even if they're bogus lawsuits. You have to fight them, and you have to spend money to fight them. And oftentimes, you're not really getting reimbursed at the end of it. Yep, and Blair's family did come from money, yes. She was a Nepo baby, or she is a Nepo baby, I should say. Everything about her is fake. She's literally a landlord. Like, her current grift is property development. Like, she buys land and properties and resells them and rents them. She's literally, I think, getting up to being a corporate landlord. Like, I think she's got a whole company for it and owns, like, possibly a dozen plus properties. Or is getting close to it, at least. Like, she's trying to become, like, the owner of her own landlord agency.
The redacted information within them is information subject to attorney-client privilege, which also spells out my current legal strategy. This would be foolish to allow Blair's legal team access. This is why the redactions are as heavy as they are, as they include itemized lists of my lawyer's actions throughout the case's initial proceedings. Despite how much has been spent so far, the legal proceedings are still in the beginning phases. Blair's lawsuit, in my opinion, relies on the misconstruing of facts and utilizes a personally curated timeline, which she has constructed in order to gain the bare minimum standards of having this case proceed. Because I'm exhausted with the, in my opinion, legal shenanigans Blair is currently pulling, this video exists. We will be delving into that timeline and gutting it point by point, as both her lawyers and judge seem to be fully unaware that I am not the real cause of her pain and misery. Blair is. Blair's actions are the reason we are here, and I'll be demonstrating that shortly with a detailed timeline of events before we move into the dissection of.
I really hate how we're getting to the point now where when you've got someone pinned in an internet drama, there's a non-zero chance that they're just gonna, like, threaten or outright sue you to try to, like, silence you. It's like the final option people trapped in a complete corner go to when you've got them, right? Like, I've had it happen to me where, like, somebody threatened to sue me because I talked about allegations they had against them. Yeah, like, it's happened to me. It's getting surprisingly common. Like, it feels like every day another YouTuber is getting sued or threatened to be sued because they said something true but negative about somebody online who's got money.
Of her claims. If you would like a full breakdown of every court filing to date, I would recommend YouTuber Matt Caster. For now, I'll be focusing on what's current and minimizing the 100+ pages of legal proceedings down to only what's necessary over the next 2 parts. For the next proceedings, I'll be launching a new GoFundMe because I have nearly exhausted the prior amounts donated. All donations will be used to defend all parties in opposition to Blair, not just myself. All future legal invoices will be posted as they come, from all parties who are in need of the funding. My goal with these uploads, assuming Blair does not take my offer, is to not only lay my defense bare for all legal parties to see, but for the online community as a whole. I intend to provide ample documentation to justify to all of you why another round of crowdfunding is being posted. This isn't just for myself anymore. This is also to defend employees that Blair is bringing legal action against as well. If Blair does accept my offer within the outro, I will be refunding the new GoFundMe once all terms are met, and the lawsuit is officially over, court filings and all. If you're curious as to why I'm even offering Blair a potential settlement in the outro, that will be explained there, as...
Not pulling a Keffels. If Blair doesn't do the lawsuit and we don't end up meeting the money, it'll get refunded. And yes, there are means through GoFundMe to make that happen, to refund people who have given through a GoFundMe. I appreciate that. We're being very transparent. We're not pulling a Keffels. That'll forever be called pulling a Keffels. I get to have that now.
There are numerous factors in my personal life that I've recently had to heavily consider and prioritize minimizing or even removing causes of stress. That being said, I have no issue, hesitations, or fears in connection to proceeding with this lawsuit. I am confident in the direction things are going, and I just want to offer a path to end this before we're stuck in this for years on end. This will be further explored in the outro.
I think she wants it to be like a years on end legal battle because I think the goal is to try to run Oz out of money. Until it's like, fuck, I guess I have to shut up about her so she can come back to YouTube unabated and just go back to her grift because I can't continue raising money for legal defenses anymore. Like, it's a marathon. Who can win the marathon? Who runs out of money first is what I think she's going for here. And it's very personal, too. You know, we're talking about an ex who's trying to ruin Oz Media's life. It's very personal for Illuminati.
As stated in my September update video, Blair and I dated, just in case this context is missing. It was never my goal to make any of this about relationship drama. However, despite the actual timeline of events which have occurred, Blair is trying to paint her entire downfall on YouTube as being nothing more than my actions towards her as a jealous ex. I'm not jealous towards your current partner, Blair, only sympathetic. I encourage all of you to fact check this timeline.
That's a good line. I didn't even know Blair has a current partner. Poor individual, maybe guy? I don't know. I'm not going to presume to know if what Blair's sexuality is, but poor person.
Go. I'm being both as detailed and as quick as I can here, because again, Blair, in my opinion, is actively obfuscating the timeline in her lawsuit in an attempt to paint herself as a victim who did nothing to deserve the scrutiny delivered onto her. On April 20th, 2023, the story begins with a tweet produced by Blair which attacked Legal Eagle for copying her style. Legal Eagle would quickly retort, explaining he had been using these standard practice editing styles, which included standard document.
The really sad thing is that all of this, like, when you explain the drama to people, you have to begin with, like, the Legal Eagle editor drama, which is such a nothing burger compared to what it, like, kind of snowballed into. So when you start explaining the drama, it sounds like nothing. It sounds like the most hollow, empty, who should give a fuck drama ever. But if you just give it a listen and you hear where, like, what came out of this and where we're at now, it's like, oh shit, people should care about this. Like, we really do need people to be on, like, Ozmedia's side here.
Effects such as the classic skeuomorphism torn paper effect, as well as the simple action of highlighting text, which all can easily be found as stock templates online.
Yeah, it scales
in this Twitter
up hard.
thread, Blair had also levied accusations against members of Legal Eagle's team as proof of this copying by showing an editor of Legal Eagle asking for help with how a certain effect is achieved. This is standard practice amongst YouTubers and editors. Blair responded to Legal Eagle by deleting these accusations and did not provide a public apology or any form of public justification for her actions. This further stirred the pot and made people ask questions. This same day, April 20th, H-Bomber Guy would post a tweet publicly displaying an example of Blair copying a documentary herself, although he used the word plagiarism. At the time, I found it incredibly telling that H-Bomber Guy had such a specific clipped comparison ready to go that same day, with an exact video. I do wonder if Blair had the same realization that I did, that the only way Harris would have a clip like this is if something major was in the works. Foreshadowing is a little on April 23rd, 3 days later.
Did you guys catch it? Did you guys catch the H-Bomber Guy reference? Foreshadowing is yeah.
We would see Click post his Twitter thread. I emphasize the 3 days portion because at this point, Blair was still yet to address the Legal Eagle scenario, pushing Click, a former collaborator of hers, to publicly distance himself from her to avoid the flack that her actions had been causing for any and all who were at any point associated with her. This is not an accusation. I am just stating the unforeseen cause and effect of Blair's documented actions. This same night, from a bathtub apparently, Wonderstruck, now known as Hi I'm Wonder, would post his Twitter thread detailing his prior dealings with Blair, as well as the harm that he felt he suffered when close to her. I was unaware that Wonder was going to make this tweet. He and I normally are on voice call when he's in the tub. This will be important later when we move into the details of the lawsuit, as Blair claims Wonder and I had essentially masterminded her downfall. I didn't know about the thread until I received a now deleted DM from Blair, asking me what she should do, followed by several...
For those that don't know, the Click, Wonder, and Ozmedia are the three people who have been like the core focus of Illuminati's abuse and attacks. I know for a fact there have been others, but of those that are like the most like forefront at the moment, the like ex-friends slash co-workers slash ex in one case, are those three that you would probably know. Really fucked up what she did to them. Like both on a friend level and on, in a way, an employee-employer level. Really fucked up.
Several missed calls from her. I wish I had a record of his Discord DM, but by the next morning, this DM would be deleted. Because Blair did not publicly provide a reason or explanation towards her actions, and with the emergence of H-Bomber Guy, Click, and Wonder...
Yeah, I don't think she can sue the Click, because I think the Click lives in another country. Is that why? I forget what exactly it is. I think it's because the Click doesn't live in the same country.
Threads, it left Twitter frenzied for answers. Those who were familiar with my connections to Blair, as it was public knowledge we were roommates, would begin to DM me or brigade my livestream chats with questions on the situation. Questions such as if I still supported Blair and if I could provide a reason or explanation for her actions. It was because of users constantly asking me to answer on behalf of Blair, as well as my past colleagues, finally speaking out, that I broke my silence and posted my thread. A thread where I took accountability for my actions in support of Blair and defended the credibility of my colleagues. I posted my Twitter thread April 24th, 2023 at roughly 4 a.m. my time. That same morning, I had this text message interaction with Blair. Please note, it is only because of the current trajectory of this lawsuit with myself awaiting litigation privileges on...
Now, to be very clear, like, this is going to be a win. Like, Ozmedia will win the lawsuit if it is challenged. Like, it's just an easy win. In America, in order to... Former employee, yeah, obviously. In America, in order to win a libel or defamation case, you have to prove a variety of things. So if you're the person doing the suing, the onus is on you to prove that what was said, A, was false, or not necessarily was false, actually. That's not true. Not that it was false, but that the person who said it believed it was false when they said it. That they were knowingly lying, and that is really hard to prove. Like, evidence that they knew they were lying when they said it. 2, you have to be able to prove damages, so you have to be able to show a direct, provable correlation between what was said that was a provable lie, a knowing lie, and how it hurt your income and your life and harmed you in some way. And then you also have to prove, I forget what the third thing is. There's like a third thing as well. It's surprisingly hard to prove that like somebody has defamed you or engaged in libel about you. So in court, like Illuminati's case isn't going to hold up. The matter is you have to pay so much money and spend so much money just to get to that point where the judge is like, oh, what even is this? Why'd you put this in front of me? Get out of here. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Ozmedia, you're fine. Like, that's how it's going to go. but it's going to be so much money spent to get to that point, and that's the point of what Blair's doing. Salty is not saying anything because he has a wife and kids to protect from Blair, and Blair's not going after him because he didn't say anything. He didn't speak out. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's fair, right? Like, you don't want to incur the wrath of that psycho woman at this point, especially when she's getting this litigious.
In these matters, that I am no longer leaving my information redacted, as I had previously intended to do so now 1 year ago. Blair, Monday, April 24th at 8:24 a.m. So I just saw your tweets, and now I understand why when I called you, you didn't answer. I'm going to take some time to formulate my thoughts, but ultimately, Oz, I hope you really do find your happiness in life. I hope you find your peace, your satisfaction, your perfect black cat, all of that. I'm not sure what you want from an outcome in this situation, but I guess I'll have to figure that out later. Blair, I just want you to realize you've caused pain. You've caused me pain. I don't care about the drama. I just want you to realize how much you've hurt me. I've been doing my best to hold everything in, for years now at this point. If you actually did read my thread, you would know what I want. Peace. I just want to be free. I just want to be able to breathe. I have read that you want peace. I thought we were doing better. I wish it could have been something we talked about on our own time instead of dogpiling. I'm left more confused than anything. Well, I assume you don't want to talk anymore. All I ever wanted was for you to realize you hurt me. Not just in the relationship, I do not care about that. You hurt me as a person to my very core. At some point, Blair, you need to see the pattern. Well, Oz, I cared about the relationship too. I cared about all of it. You hurt me as a person too, and ripped everything wide open today. And if doing this all to me helps you feel better, then that's okay. I'll take it. I'm sorry, Oz. I hope this helps you find your peace.
Yeah, it's very, like, she sounds very, cunty in a bad way there. Like, very much like, okay, trying to, like, manipulate Oz into thinking that this was, like, a bad thing that he did just by talking about this. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. That's a pretty big red flag just in the way she talks to them, you know?
Except you aren't. You're going to continue to drag my name through the mud. You're going to continue to be who you are. And that's okay. I just hope that you stop painting people as your weekly villain. It's your biggest flaw and it's always gotten you in the most trouble. It's what caused the most harm. Blair, I'm sorry I ripped everything wide open, but I never had the chance to heal. I never had the chance to feel peace. Instead, I went to therapy and have a PTSD diagnosis. Instead, I gave myself chemical burns because I was too scared to say no. I'm afraid of you, Blair. I'm getting a second opinion on the PTSD. I don't want it to be true and I don't trust Talkspace to that extent. What the hell are you talking about with chemical burns? And this purple portion here is Blair airing her mental health. I'm leaving this censored. I don't want to drag your name in the mud, which is why I'm going to you instead of Twitter or whatever. I would go to an actual doctor. Colorado is tightening down on telemedicine stuff, FYI. I'm working on it. Thanks for the heads up. I would rather talk to you in a phone call, in person, whatever. I would rather try to work on things and work out things over, I don't know, whatever else the other options are. I don't want either.
I'm gonna, like, be completely honest here. I've had, like, shitty exes. I mean, you guys know that for sure. And this sounds a lot like the kind of stuff they say when you put your foot down. You're like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. It reminds me a lot of that. Like the weird, like, bargaining, but with the air of acting as though they've got any leverage with which to bargain with you. You know what I mean? Like a sort of false bravado in that bargaining. Like almost like I don't even know if it's gaslighting. God, my eye is so itchy today. I don't even know if it's gaslighting. I think it's just like an attempt at manipulation. Like a sort of like bargaining, pleading.
I was hurting. I know there is no band-aid solution, but I know talking helps. Just for some context, why I didn't take this is because Blair does have a habit of recording conversations. This is evident with the Madison situation from Cruel Happy Mind. I was fearful she would take my words out of context to suit her narrative. I need time.
Yeah, it's completely understandable. It's better to keep the conversation in text where you can screenshot it and post it for future reference. And if she wants to delete her messages, then, I mean, what's that look like?
I need to see a real therapist first. I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry you're hurting as well. I really am. But I need to start putting my needs first. I will put my needs first too. Good luck out there. Take care, please. Can't guarantee that, but I will be alive. Just so we're clear, that was a joke. Probably a bad one, but a joke. And I'll have the officer remove the bolo off of your house too. I guess I'll be heading down then. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it in my name either. Just show them any verifiable threats and they'll do it. And this was the last time I spoke to Blair. For additional context, the bolo...
She is very bizarre. It felt like she was trying to get the final word in that conversation. I'm not the only one who got that vibe. Am I? Like, didn't it feel like she was trying to get the final word there? Like, I can't see how I'll have a good day, but I'll be alive, you know?
In question, as Blair described it, was essentially swatting protection. It was a way that if someone were to attempt to swat my home, the officer in question would then look up my address and see that I am a public figure and give me a call before showing up to my door in SWAT gear. Blair removed this protection when I spoke out against her, or at least she claims. I don't know if this actually exists or not. But to me, in my eyes...
Jesus Christ, what? Yeah, that protection does exist. It is real. I have that. She had it removed. She admitted to having it removed after. That's just explicitly like, there's nothing you pay for or like a service you have to have like upkept in order to have that set up so that you don't have to worry about getting swatted as an online content creator. She actively, maliciously went out of her way to call the local police department and tell them to remove the address from the list of places to call before sending the SWAT team if a call is made to the house. Keffel just tried to get that. How can she do that? It depends on the police department. It's a thing. Oh my god. My throat is so phlegmy. What the hell? It's a thing in Seattle. The what's it? King County Police Department, is that it? In Washington. Here in Seattle, they've got it. And there's quite a few other places across America that do as well, but I don't think it's a thing in Canada. But I don't know. It depends on where you are. They might not offer this system, but in a big city generally, they do here in Seattle. Like, notoriously, they offer that in Seattle. So what a shitty thing she did. That's like malicious. Like, you have to work to achieve a malicious act of like making it easier for Oz Media to be swatted is what she did there. The only reason to do that. And had to work to achieve it. It wasn't like, oh, stopped paying for a service. It was called up and said, hey, I need you to make my ex-friend easier to swat. That's literally what she did.
On this day, after I had spoken out against Blair, Blair removed protections that I would have against swatting. Protections which she did in fact put in place, but had also explained to me what the purpose of them were. There is a lot to unpack here. However, these messages are important as I believe they help demonstrate why I have come to the conclusions I have on her motives. It is worth noting, I am the one who asked for space. I am the one who wanted nothing to do with her. She is the one who apologized and desperately sought out a rapid solution to remove my words from the internet. I finally said no. This same day, April 24th, One Topic would post his thread in opposition to Blair. April 28th, Blair would upload her video, Illuminati Exposed, which...
I forgot One Topic is another person who's been getting a lot of shit. There's 4 people that have been in the limelight of Illuminati's harassment. My bad.
Served as a direct response to her detractors. Blair had taken drama off of Twitter with minimal viewership and plastered it before her large audience for the world to see. In this video, she finally showed that she did in fact apologize to Legal Eagle. In private. If this was made public, I believe we would not be here right now. As myself.
Hilariously, by the time she apologized to Legal Eagle, no one cared about the Legal Eagle thing anymore. Everyone was far more concerned with what the former Sad Milk members had gone through. Like that was like very quickly after people found out about the Legal Eagle thing, the Sad Milk thing became known, and that's what she was getting canceled for. Like, no one cares about the editor drama at this point. It's more about, like, what she's doing to Oz and everyone else.
Myself and others would not have received questions and pressure from viewers to make a statement. In this video, which is still public, Blair attempted to address the Twitter threads from both Click and Wonder. In doing so, she also used this opportunity to leverage several accusations against them. Accusations which she, as it appears based on her actions, had been holding on for nearly 3 years to use at her convenience for an exact moment like this. In my opinion, based on what we see from these events, either Blair knew her evidence was a misrepresentation of facts and only worth sharing as a Hail Mary attempt to destroy someone's reputation, or she willingly held evidence of minors being harmed within Click's server and only reported on it 3 years later when it benefited her. I cannot fathom any other reason for the events transpiring the way that they have. In fact, back in 2020, by the way she spoke...
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, even if the story about, like, minors getting groomed in Click's server was real, which it wasn't, it was literally, like, Click was asleep and, like, Illuminati saw someone, like, engaging in inappropriate messages with a minor, the person got banned, but Illuminati, like, spam messaged Click while Click was asleep. Like, oh, if you're not awake 24/7 to deal with a situation like this and answer for it, then you're complicit. And it's like, oh my God, what a reach. Jesus Christ. And then even if that was like a gotcha, even if that was a good gotcha, Illuminati dropped that as a non sequitur argument against the Click in a video 3 years later. Like, by that point, let's say it was a 12-year-old that was getting groomed in the Click server, hypothetically. At that point, like, the kid's 15. like, and then she's making her expose. Like, come on. It was never a good argument in the first place. I appreciate, because this may be shown in court, and we don't know, like, what level of understanding of internet drama the people that are going to hear about this and potentially see it will already be exposed to. So I think it's good that it's being somewhat over-explained. That's probably a good thing.
Within her messages, Blair seemed very eager to find an opportunity to destroy Click with this exact evidence. Or to use her words from 2020, nah, I'm not gonna attack Click unless it becomes public gossip or a drama channel picks it up. Then I will nuke him. In this response video, Blair accused Click of some fairly horrendous things.
Oh my god, people saying they're gonna nuke someone when they don't actually have, like, anything on that person that would be like a good nuke is really cringe. Ugh. Like, what does... I guess you know what she might have meant when she... You know what she probably meant when she said nuke him? Inundate with legal bullshit. She probably doesn't mean like, oh, maybe it was posting the suicide note. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been it. God, she really thought that was like a good gotcha. Like, it was just immediately, even her own fans were just like, oh my god, delete this, Blair. And she really thought it was like an epic gotcha. Jesus Christ. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, it's so vile and so cringe, you know? Like, how vile of a thing to do that is already enough of a crime, but it's also such a cringe thing to do, you know? Oh.
Which he did address in full within his own response video. Now, this is a retelling of well-documented public events which transpired publicly. None of this is new information. Blair also had a chapter dedicated to Wonder where she plastered his mental health for the world to see. Wonder is a former employee of Blair's, meaning that Blair had exposed private and sensitive information, also known as PII, which included conversations she had with his therapist, for her entire audience of, at the time, roughly 1.7 million subscribers. Blair...
Yeah, I think that information is literally illegal to disseminate because it's medical info, and that's like protected in a very special way.
Also accused Wonder of mistreatment of his dog, as well as other false accusations that Wonder was forced to address. There is, of course, the infamous 3-minute section dedicated to me where Blair is in tears. I have my own opinion on these tears, but I plan to tackle this at a different time, as it serves no purpose here beyond pointing out that...
I feel like most people at this point have dealt with someone, let's be honest, it's mostly women that do this, that have like narcissism or like a borderline personality disorder like Blair has, and are very good at just like on command alligator crying, like tearing up, fake tears, fake crying, manipulation mode. Like we've all met, like, it's usually a girl who's a narcissist. Guys can do it too, but it's usually not very effective when guys start crying to get what they want. So it's usually a girl you'll meet who's really narcissistic, who can just immediately call over some tears to manipulate people. We all know that's what Illuminati is. She's demonstrated the conniving and the scheming aspects of all that, like the knowing planning of fucking people over and trying to hurt them by playing victim. Her alligator tears, sorry. Yeah, not alligator client. You know what I mean. Yeah, very familiar with like the kind of person Illuminati is at this point. So I don't buy her crying at all. Yeah, men have to be manipulative in other ways. It can't just be crying. It has to be like a different method.
In my opinion, Blair is attempting to leverage private details for public pity, which some people did in fact take at face value, and demanded I apologize to Blair on various platforms. This section's cumbersome wording is very particular to the legal side of things that will make sense when looking at her, in my opinion, legal hypocrisy. She played in the mud just as much as everyone else did. I cannot emphasize enough that Blair had taken Click and Wonder's Twitter complaints and negative experiences of her past behavior, complaints made publicly as reasoning for their discontinued association with her after her public folly with Legal Eagle, and would then post a response video where she herself levied accusations against other content creators, which warranted a response to defend themselves against her claims. I understand that to a vast majority of you, this is obvious. But
it was so funny too, because she thought she did something with that video, and the immediate response was like, I didn't know about the sad milk thing, and I just looked into it, and you're clearly lying and full of shit. And then she lost more and more and more subs simply by acknowledging the sad milk drama, as it was known back then.
Blair attempts to paint her video as an attempt to de-escalate matters within the original filings of the lawsuit. Ironically, this factual allegation was later mysteriously removed in future amended versions of her legal complaint. 34. Regarding the false accusations listed above, Blair made one public post, attempting to debunk the misinformation. She has not publicly addressed the situation further in an attempt to de-escalate it. While I have my theories on why this was removed, the exact details are unknown. In her current complaint, there is currently no reference to her ever uploading this video or any of the public comments she's made, making it appear as though she never played in the mud, and her criticisms came from nowhere. Here's a quick search in the second amended complaint to demonstrate this. This document will be on full display in future chapters within part 2. More on this, of course, when
Second Amendment.
we reach the legal debunking. Sorry to edge you all on like this with this tease, but my point here is that Blair's story has already had numerous revisions, and she sees her video as an attempt at de-escalation.
I really like that the video over-explains, because you have to remember that potentially, like, never touched a touch screen in their lives boomers might be in the jury, if it's a jury thing, or God, the judge could have never seen a YouTube video ever before.
If you recall, among the many other accusations she levies, Blair accused YouTuber The Click of harboring pedophiles in his Discord server. In what world this is a de-escalation? I cannot say. Now, of course, I do believe that Blair is entitled to speak publicly on her personal retelling of events. However, I personally find it to be brash, hypocritical, and even monstrous to then sue those who argue against said retelling of events. Something rocks in glass houses. Following Blair's April 20th video, this would of course follow with a twit longer drafted by Wonder, posted April 29th, in a rapid attempt to defend himself from the multitude of new allegations that Blair had dropped on his doorstep. May 2nd, Click would upload his response, detailing his experiences with Sad Milk as well as what he had personally gone through. Near the end of this video, documentation is shown from an individual who was previously anonymous, which helped provide Click with supporting evidence to bolster his claims as well as to dismantle the many accusations thrown forward by Blair. This individual is now being sued by Blair. His online handle is Felix the Kit Kat. He was...
Yep, there's quite a few people that aren't, like, getting super in the forefront of everything that are also being attacked by Illuminati. There was a whole team of people that are, like, all being attacked by her who have all, like, got the same story. It's literally, like, half a dozen or more people's story word against just hers. Very likely they're not all just ganging up on her for no reason, and she's actually just really stand up, and they've all just decided, we don't like her, we're going to turn on her and lie about her. That's very unlikely. More likely than not, she's the problem. Not everyone else every time she gets into a situation. Now, obviously, I would love to watch the whole rest of this video, but to completely tell you guys the truth, I have to use the restroom quite bad. And on top of that, I don't want to just yoink the entire video, but the main point of this is that Oz Media is raising money for the legal case with Illuminati. And no, don't worry. You guys don't have to worry about getting keffels and having your money pocketed. Don't worry. Allegedly. Don't worry. However, if you guys are interested and you guys want to send some support, please consider going over into Oz Media's stream or over to their channel. There'll be a link in the description, and there's a link there in chat as well. You should go into the chat and say, Zan says hi, and maybe drop a like and some support. It's always appreciated. They're actually live right now, so go say hi to Oz. Anyway, with that said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like. It really does help a lot. Please go support Oz as well. Drop a like. Go send some support to the GoFundMe if you've got the money for it. And of course, consider subscribing and ring the bell icon and following my social medias linked down below. Support me financially if you want to by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, or Patreon, or buying merch to the Streamlabs link down below. But if you've got money, probably send it to Oz Media first, and then maybe a donation to me if you can afford it. But yeah, with that said, hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to join my fan Discord if you haven't already. We're doing a watch party right after stream. It's going to be a banger. We're going to be watching more Rings of Power, so I hope to see you guys there. I love doing watch parties, and yeah, as always, hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come to the next watch party and video. Thank you for watching. Fumbled the outro a little bit there, but that's mostly because I have to pee really, really bad. So I'll be right back, okay? My God, I feel better. Oh, I had to pee very badly, chat. Not gonna lie. That was a rushed outro. I'm sorry, but I had to use the bathroom. I would have loved to go a little while longer on that segment, but I drank a whole can of Monster, and that goes straight through you. Well, War Penguin, people have to watch Ozmedia's video to see it. That's the point. More views to Ozmedia. Pee, sure. Well, I mean, okay. If you think I was shitting in like 5 seconds? You must think I've got impressive bowel muscles? I don't know. Just run to the bathroom, sit down, just go, you know, just like a bullet. And then you just, like, get up, don't even wipe, and run back to the computer. Fucking vile. Jesus Christ. Nope, no washing hands in this hypothetical. We wouldn't have time. Well, obviously I washed my hands then, but yeah. I think that chatter thought you were doing the third option that happens in the bathroom. Oh, snorting coke? I wish I was snorting coke. Then my nose itch would actually be for a fun reason, not just my nose itches. Do you wipe or let it crust? That is the most vile fucking thing I have ever heard, Glowworm. Please, God, take yourself outside and, like, douse yourself with the hose and, like, lay there for a while in the cold wind, please. Oh, you're talking about jorking it? When I think of what third thing people do in the bathroom, I'm thinking drugs, because I went to school in Florida, and then well, obviously went to work in Florida, and the thing they were doing in the bathroom, if it wasn't using the bathroom, was drugs. Like, every time, it was drugs. So that's what I think of. Whether it was, like, meth or LSD or I don't really know what else it would have been. That was popular with my classmates and coworkers. Hold on a second, Blaster. You seem familiar. It's a little fishy that you've got a brand new account on the website. And you're spamming me to watch a video. That's a little fishy. Not gonna lie. Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. Just a new account. Sorry, I'm talking about your account on the website. And why it's like a new account. It's just fishy. It was fishy that you were in the account and you were a new account and spamming me. Sometimes that's usually a sign of a troll. What are you talking about, Trent? Why would they fuck on the sink? You're having an interesting conversation over in YouTube chat, aren't you guys? I hope you guys are having fun over there. I hope you guys, whatever you're talking about, I hope it's fun. I hope you guys like it. Alright, we're just going to be doing 2 more topics today because I'm tired as fuck and we've got a watch party after stream. So, buckle your seatbelts. We got 2 more to go. Thank you for the support so far, by the way. You guys have been immensely generous today. All right. All right. That's an invasive, intrusive thought right there, TSW Shadow Wolf, but thanks for saying it out loud. Guys, y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. I'm sorry, everyone, but the bombing of children and hospitals will end under Biden. Joe Biden outlines plan for Israel-Hamas ceasefire, permanent ceasefire, according to him. It's time for this war to end. I can't really do a good... It's time for this war to end, Jack. Let's hope so. I believe in Biden. He's been doing a really good job so far. Really, the biggest criticism I think anyone on the left could have for him is his handling of Israel and Gaza. And despite the fact that he has handled it better than any president before, like more critically of Israel than any other president, and by a lot, it's still not by much. And the majority of left-leaning Americans would like much more harsh criticism, at least of Israel, when they're actively doing what most would agree is a genocide. There's arguments and nitpicking, especially by Zionists, about whether what's happening qualifies as a genocide. For me and most people on the left, it's effectively no different. Who cares? But there are people who get crazy about that. Regardless, it's mass killing. Like, these events are going to be referred to as, like, massacres individually when you look them up on Wikipedia in, like, 4 years. Like, you're going to see, like, the massacre of the Rafah border crossing. Like, that's going to be a thing. There are civilians, children, women, and, like, old people who are the victims here a lot of the time. It's a big problem. And the victims here are oftentimes not the people that are actually being targeted, because the people being targeted, the actual military, Hamas's military, use civilians as human shields. So there will continue to be deaths of innocent civilians until the fighting stops. The fighting just has to stop at this point. If Hamas is going to be fought, it has to be through completely different means, because continuing to just attack Hamas is going to mean the hostages are going to die, people are going to continue to die, innocent civilians are going to continue to die, and according to Israel, they say they aren't trying to commit a genocide. So if they agree to do this, then that's a pretty good way to prove that, if they're willing to just stop and come up with a different way to fight their military enemy that doesn't involve potentially wiping out an entire city of people. Anyway, so yeah, this is a pretty big Biden W. Probably the biggest weak point for Biden. Not to mention, if this goes through, for those that don't know, I forget who mentioned it in chat, but it is true. If this goes through, Biden will have, in his career, been responsible for 10 peace deals. Which I think is, like, really high for any politician, like, in American history, to be responsible for. If Biden succeeds at this, he will have been responsible for 10 peace deals in his political career, which is a really frustrating thing when you consider that so many lefties, like, talk about Biden like he's some hyper war hawk. Arguably, like, he's more of a war hawk than Trump or the Republicans, when if you know his history and, like, do your research, you know that he's actually, like, impressively well resumed in regards to, like, peace negotiations. The only 2 higher peace deals was after World War I and II. So, like, in modern American history, he is the guy who holds the record for the most peace deals he's responsible for. Yeah, it's just so frustrating that this kind of stuff is news to people. It's like, Biden is astonishingly progressive for somebody who actually managed to get into the Oval Office. When you actually think about it. Astonishingly progressive for a guy who actually won.
We're coming on the air a little bit earlier this afternoon because President Biden is about to come before the cameras for the first time since former President Donald Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts of filing false business documents here in New York. President Biden is actually expected to speak about to the nation about Israel's war with Hamas, urging Hamas to accept the hostage deal that has been put on the table in recent days. This would be a critical step before any possible peace plan to try to end the conflict in Gaza, which is about to enter its 8th month. I should mention, we don't know if the president will address the 34 felony guilty verdicts in the last 24 hours. We know he will address what you're looking at now. Israel's intensified operation inside the southern Gaza city of Rafah. The Israeli military today saying its forces have advanced into central Rafah despite global backlash and calls to scale back the assault there. Just this week, an Israeli official suggesting this war in Gaza could go until at least the end of the year, another 7 months. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly said the war will...
Well, I mean, that would literally mean there'd be nothing left if that happens. So, yeah, Biden needs to put a stop to this ASAP.
...will continue, he says, until Hamas is destroyed. Hostage talks between Israel and Hamas broke off about 3 weeks ago. It's believed more than 100 hostages are...
Who thinks that Hamas will stop grabbing human shields? Like, they will literally start digging through the rubble to find every injured child that's been, like, had a house collapse on them by the IDF bombings and use them as a human shield for, like, the last volley of small munition strikes. Like, they'll just, like, continue to search for people to gather together and use as human shields so there's no one left. If you're going to wipe out Hamas, you have to wipe out every last Palestinian in Gaza, because every last Palestinian in Gaza will be rounded up and used as human shields by Hamas. And then they'll use the hostages. They'll use the Israeli hostages too. Yeah, so at a certain point, and I'm sure this has already happened, I don't know if we have confirmation of it, though it's very likely that there's already like a story that's confirmed this has happened already, that I just don't know about. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the IDF has already been responsible for the accidental killing of their own hostages, at least like 1 or 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's no evidence of that, but I mean, shit. Gaza's not that big, and they've been bombing a lot of it. Where the fuck could they be keeping all the hostages if they're safe from that? Like, it seems like you're basically asking for strays to hit friendlies there. You know, I've played Helldivers 2. I know how that shit goes. It's hard to not airstrike your friends. They did. I think there's evidence. Yeah. Listen, I played Helldivers 2. I know that it's quite difficult to not airstrike your friends. That it's not a very precise way of doing battle, you know?
Still being held in Gaza. You're looking at the state dining room there, obviously at the White House. The president expected to speak shortly to the nation about increasing the pressure on Hamas to accept this deal for a ceasefire to try to get these hostages out. As I mentioned, that number, and it bears repeating, at least 100 hostages, it's believed, are still being held inside Gaza. Now, again, what's...
I've heard this weird narrative that there's like 5 hostages left that that Hamas took. No, there's like a bit over 100 at least that are still alive and still in custody at the current estimation. So there's definitely like a case to be made like, yeah, I mean, these negotiations should include the release of those hostages, which makes sense, right? Like, why did they take the hostages? For leverage. Clearly, Hamas wants something, and they took hostages to use as leverage. And if Israel's willing to play ball and maybe negotiate, then obviously those hostages exist as hostages simply for the purpose of being used as leverage in that potential deal. I mean, that's why you take hostages, isn't it? Like, are they just doing that for fun?
Unclear as whether or not President Biden will address directly the major headline here at home, which is the first criminal conviction of a former president in history. Donald Trump found guilty on those 34 felony counts yesterday afternoon in a New York City courtroom. The former president reacting yesterday.
Pokemon, go to the jail.
And then again today in front of the cameras, calling the trial rigged, saying he will fight on. He said the verdict will come this November when Americans go to the polls. Mary Bruce, you're watching this live camera too as we await the president. Unclear if he'll address the news here at home.
And David, the president, we know, has gone really out of his way to actually stay silent on this trial over the last several weeks. He has been silent since we found out about that guilty verdict yesterday afternoon. But his campaign has really struck a very somber...
Dude, I love the clip that Chuds are coping about saying, look how is Biden's brain melting? He can't even respond to anything. is the response to the video where a reporter asked Biden, how do you respond to Trump supporters saying that, or to supporters of Trump saying that you're using the political system or the legal system to attack him with these trials? And Biden just turns and goes, and walks away. And like chuds are like posting that clip like his brain is melted. He can't even respond. And it's like he just did like an evil smile at the camera at that question and then walked away. He's fucking with you. Like they can't accept it because the left can't meme, guys. The left just can't meme. It's not possible. They can't consider that possibility. Let me see if I can find it. I wonder if I can find this clip on YouTube. It's funny. Nope, probably not. Yep, here it is. I found it. Found it on C-SPAN. People were posting this clip, Trump supporters were, and trying to copium claim that this is an example of Biden's brain melting.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir? Do you think the conviction will have an impact on the campaign? We'd love to hear your thoughts, sir.
Should he be on the ballot, sir?
He just looks at the camera with that smirk. That fucking smirk. And then walks the fuck away. Like, he's like, well, maybe no, I'm gonna leave him with that. And he just continues onward. The copium about that clip is crazy. It's crazy. They can't accept that Biden has a sense of humor. They can't do it.
Somewhat muted tone. They are trying not to be too celebratory about this. They don't want to feed into the narrative, which Donald Trump repeated today, the baseless narrative that this was all somehow a political hit job orchestrated by the president. His campaign, though, has said that what we saw yesterday, this verdict, makes clear that no one is above the law. And while clearly the president politically will want to take advantage of this verdict, he is now running against a convicted felon. His campaign, I am told, wants to stay laser focused on outlining the stakes in this election. It remains to be seen, though, just how much the president's going to lean in to this conviction. It's why, if he does choose to address it here, and here comes the president, David.
Oh. Just checking this afternoon. Good afternoon. Before I begin my remarks,
that's me as fuck.
Say a few words.
That's actually the most me thing ever. Like when I'm approaching somebody on the sidewalk, whenever I'm like walking to the dispensary, like, or to the store, just anywhere, right? Like when I'm just going on a walk and I pass somebody, I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, good morning. Oh wait, is it afternoon? Oh, it's like noon. I don't know. What would I guess either will work. Usually if it's like the sun's around the middle of the sky, I just take a gamble. And usually people don't bat an eye, but yeah, that's me as fuck. Like, oh, what time is it? Can I say good morning or good afternoon?
About what happened yesterday in New York City.
Yeah, dude, you know what got me saying howdy to a lot of people? Red Dead Redemption 2. Because of Red Dead Redemption 2, I say hello, good afternoon, howdy ma'am, or howdy sir, like to people like I'm gaining honor points every time. Like, I farm those honor points from every greeting when I pass people on the sidewalk. I got trained to do that by Red Dead Redemption 2, which, you know what? Good for me. RDR 2 trains you to be social and friendly by giving you good honor for just greeting people politely as you walk along. And I think that's a good thing to encourage in gamers. We need more of that.
City. The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed. Donald Trump was given every opportunity to defend himself. It was a state case, not a federal case, and it was heard by a jury of 12 citizens.
Oh, by the way, small update on the Trump voting thing, by the way. Unfortunately, despite Trump being a Floridian, the way the rules work, from what I understand, because it was a state thing, is that despite being a felon, the felony rule applies in New York, Not in Florida, I guess, so he's allowed to vote still. At least in New York, he can vote. So he just has to go to New York to vote. He can still vote as a felon because New York lets felons vote, which is good. Like, I don't think felons shouldn't be allowed to vote, but obviously it means, you know, Trump gets to vote still.
12 Americans, 12 people like you, like millions of Americans who served on juries. This jury is chosen the same way every jury in America is chosen. It was a process that Donald Trump's attorney was part of. The jury heard 5.
The issue is Trump owns property in New York, so I think that gives him the ability to vote there, if I understand the rules right. I read a whole thing today. It was from CNN, and it explained why Trump could still vote. It just has to be in New York, is what I understand, because they're state charges. The felony is from the state of New York, and New York has rules that let felons vote. So he can vote in New York, but I don't know if he can in Florida, because he just is a felon now, and felons, I don't think, can vote at all in the state of Florida. Like, they're just not allowed to get to the booths, you know?
5 weeks of evidence, 5 weeks. And after careful deliberation, the jury reached a unanimous verdict. They found Donald Trump guilty on all 34 felony counts. Now he'll be given the opportunity, as he should, to appeal that decision just like everyone else has that opportunity. That's how the American system of justice works. And it's reckless, it's dangerous, it's irresponsible for anyone to say this was rigged just because they don't like the verdict. Our justice system has endured for nearly 250 years. And it literally is the corner.
Trump finally won a popular vote. Now, I do like his speech about this, but I want to see the speech about the
trucks
Gaza thing.
Carrying aid into Gaza.
Yeah, here we
go. Now, after intensive diplomacy, the war in Gaza, that's America.
All right.
That's who we are. And that's who we'll always be, God willing. Now to another issue. I want to give an update on my efforts to end the crisis in Gaza. For the past several months, my negotiators of foreign policy, intelligence community, and like have been relentlessly focused, not just on a ceasefire that would inevitably be fragile and temporary, but on a durable end of the war. That's been the focus, a durable end of this war. One that brings all the hostages home, ensures Israel's security, creates a better day after in Gaza without Hamas in power, and sets the stage for a political settlement that provides a better future for Israelis and Palestinians alike. Now, after intensive diplomacy carried out by my team, my many conversations with leaders of Israel, Qatar, and Egypt, and other Middle Eastern countries.
Dude, I'm always confused when people pronounce Qatar, Qatar. How are you supposed to pronounce Qatar? I always assume it's supposed to be pronounced Qatar. Like, Qatar. But then I hear it pronounced Qatar, and it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like, it just sounds like a boomer Southern white person way to mispronounce something. Qatar. I bet that became a habit a long time ago. Yeah, it's like Vietnam, you know?
Israel has offered a comprehensive new proposal. It's a roadmap to an enduring ceasefire and the release of all hostages. This proposal has been transmitted by Qatar to Hamas. Today, I want to lay out its terms for the American citizens and for the world. This new proposal has 3 phases. The first phase would last for 6 weeks. Here's what it would include. A full and complete ceasefire. A withdrawal of Israeli forces.
You guys remember when, like, the narrative was Biden won't even say ceasefire because, like, they're so afraid of not doing war or whatever? And it was, like, the entire time Biden was, like, saying ceasefire, like, 12 times a day or something in reference to, like, talking about his plans to organize peace. And he's been, like, he's proposed like what 20, 30 peace agreements at this point, and this is one that like this is the strongest one that we've had so far that like meets the terms of Israel and Hamas and involves the release of the hostages and a permanent end of conflict. Hopefully. Obviously, this is not going to last forever, but like even if for a week we can make bombs stop falling on kids, I'm happy, okay? Like every moment that bombs are not falling on kids is a W.
From all populated areas of Gaza, release of a number of hostages, including women, the elderly, the wounded, in exchange for release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. There are American hostages who would be released at this stage, and we want them home. Additional.
And then on the other end, part of this agreement is that Israel will release a ton of people that have been detained because they're suspected of having Hamas connections and petty crime and stuff like that. There's just a lot of people that Israel has who, like, just a lot of Palestinian people that Israel has that don't need to be locked up. They've got prisons and jails where they've got, like, bad people and actual terrorists locked up, and that's fine, but the people who should be released many of them will be released with this agreement.
Remains of hostages who have been killed would be returned to their families, bringing some degree of closure to that terrible grief. Palestinians, civilians would return to their homes and neighborhoods in all areas of Gaza, including in the north.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You should probably get to the reconstruction part of this. To be fair, I'm slightly spoiled on this because I'm aware of like some of the parts of this plan. Part of this also involves a Gaza reconstruction plan. So yes, there will be money put into rebuilding Gaza physically, infrastructurally. But like, you can't put we need to like get them back to their homes part before we need to rebuild their homes part, you know?
Humanitarian assistance would surge, with 600 trucks carrying aid into Gaza every single day.
I like that. With
the ceasefire, that aid could be safely and effectively distributed to all who need it. Hundreds of...
And I assume would be U.S. trucks of aid. So if Israel, like, bombs it out of nowhere and breaks the ceasefire, that would mean a U.S. soldier or at least U.S. equipment would get damaged. And that would be a big problem. So hopefully that would help to enforce a state of general peace. Even a high-tension peace is a peace nonetheless.
Of thousands of temporary shelters, including housing units, would be delivered by the international community. All that and more would begin immediately. Immediately.
This is the real test to see if Hamas gives any shits about the Palestinian people. What I really hope is that we should like have flyers getting airdropped into like Gaza, like with the most commonly spoken language. I don't know what the most commonly spoken language is. It's probably very multilingual there if I were to take a wild guess. So whatever is the most common. Just basically explaining what the current state is, that the President of the United States has made this deal, or presented this deal, it'd just be Arabic, okay, would make this deal with the leaders of Hamas and with the leaders of Israel, and that if Hamas does not agree to this ceasefire, these are the things that they are deciding that you, the people, don't deserve. I unironically think one of the best things that the U.S. and Israel could do if they want to, like, fight against Hamas would be to start building up as much resentment for Hamas as possible among the Palestinian people in Gaza. Like, to the point where the Palestinian people are mobbing up and attacking Hamas in the streets. If that happens, then I think it's a pretty hard case to make for Israel that there needs to be bombings. And that would be good, just objectively. It would either be Arabic or sometimes Farsi. Okay. But yeah, I like we used to do like flyer bombings back in the day where it's not really bombs. You just drop flyers on top of a population. We should do that. And it's just basically a brief explanation of the situation. Just like, hey, if this ceasefire doesn't go through because the leaders of Hamas decide to continue hostilities and they don't agree to the ceasefire, like, and Israel's on board, we're on board, then you know who the problem is. It's in your hands now. What are these pamphlets for? Why we're bombing you? What are these pamphlets for? They're why we're... I don't... No. Okay, I think you had a moment where you weren't paying attention, Mr. Inedible. I think Hamas said they agreed to the terms already. That could change, though. We've had a couple of situations where it was thought that, like, hostilities are going to end, and Hamas has restarted hostilities unexpectedly, and there's been times where Israel has been responsible. So it's really hard to say who could be the one that casts the first stone again if peace is established.
During the 6 weeks of phase one, Israel and Hamas would negotiate the necessary arrangements to get to phase two, which is a permanent end to hostilities. Now, I'll be straight with you. There are a number of details to negotiate to move from phase one to phase two. Israel will want to make sure its interests are protected.
How do we know that this won't happen again? It's the first agreement that's given Hamas and Israel basically exactly what they want in the agreement. Like, it is the closest to both of them getting exactly what they want with the snap of fingers, I guess. To be, like, I know that for a lot of you guys, you probably can't not look at what Israel's doing as anything other than, like, they're just bombing until no one's left because they want to do a genocide. But to be clear, there has been a pretty clear evidentiary line of process since the initial attacks by Hamas on October 7th. So, presumably, if this does not get agreed to by Israel, their ability to claim a valid military cause in everything they have done, even with all the civilian death, completely evaporates, because everything that they have claimed they are doing this for will have been denied when offered to them for a peaceful solution. And at that point, if you're not willing to pursue a peaceful option, the international community is just going to be forced into dropping you insofar as support. Unfortunately, Israel, for many nations, has still maintained a faux veneer of reasonability and of, like, justification in their actions, as if it was just a sort of unfortunate list of military action that, has caused more civilian casualties than is ideal.
But the proposal says if the negotiations take longer than 6 weeks for phase one, the ceasefire will still continue as long as negotiations continue. In the United States, Egypt, and Qatar would work to ensure negotiations keep going. All agreements, until all the agreements are reached and phase two is able to begin. Then phase two, there'd be an exchange for the release of all remaining living hostages, including male soldiers. Israeli forces would withdraw from Gaza. And as long as Hamas lives up to its commitments, a temporary ceasefire would become, in the words of the Israeli proposal, the cessation of hostilities permanently. End of quote. Cessation of hostilities permanently.
So Hamas has agreed. Israel is the one that said cessation of hostilities permanently. It's the most promising, like, peace deal that we've had, like, possibly ever.
Finally, in phase three, a major reconstruction plan for Gaza would commence, and any final remains of hostages who've been killed would be returned to their families. That's the offer that's now on the table, and what we've been asking for. It's what we need. The people of Israel should know they can make this offer without any further risk to their own security because they've devastated Hamas forces over the past 8 months. At this point,
true.
Hamas no longer is capable of carrying out another October 7th, which is one of Israel's main objectives in this war, and quite frankly, a righteous one.
People are going to get mad about that because, like, any talk about Israel being justified in fighting Hamas is going to be, like, it's going to be juxtaposed with the deaths of children. After Vosh saw that, he drew up this ceasefire proposal from a secret Israeli deal. He finally admitted Biden is good on Israel. I actually saw that clip, and it was definitely still a little snarky. Honestly, maybe I'll organize, like, I don't know if it'll be a debate or a convo with Vosh on stream where it's like, here are the things that Biden has been doing that I feel haven't gotten enough attention. Because, like, I don't even know if he's talked about, like, Biden's climate plan, like axing 80% of our carbon footprint by going after the coal industry alone. That's just, like, one single thing he did. If he'd let anyone debate him, it's you? Yeah, probably. I really want to hear that. That would be fun. I'd have to do probably a night of research before that, for sure. Just gathering up as many stories as I can, as many bills and successes on Biden's part as I can. Because it's really just a matter of being like, look at all the things Biden has done. Like, 90% of this shit probably surprises you that it even happened, you know? Like, that's... I think a lot of it is, like, the filter that a lot of people get their news from. And I feel like right now, if you're left-leaning, chances are a lot of your news is filtered through, like, a very... It's not that you're getting nothing but negative Biden coverage. It's that when Biden does positive things, it's far more likely to be overshadowed by a different headline. So it's easy to just fall behind on just how much Biden has been doing. I saw a quote. It was bizarre. It was like, Biden's always tweeting, I don't know who this president guy is, but I'd like to have a talk with him. It's like, I follow Biden on Twitter. Usually it's like, we need to do so-and-so, and then it's followed up immediately by a bill getting passed or written up by him that acknowledges that issue. Like, when Biden does those tweets where he's like, insert thing as a problem, it's usually, like, what's going to follow that is him doing something about it, right? Like, I don't know. It's just, man... Like, Biden gets it rough. You know, I get it. There's things to criticize, but there's also things to praise.
I know there are those in Israel who will not agree with this plan and will call for the war to continue indefinitely. Some are even in the government coalition. And they've made it clear they want to occupy Gaza. They want to keep fighting for years. And the hostages are not a priority to them. Well, I've urged the leadership in Israel to stand behind this deal, despite whatever pressure comes. And
well, he's explicitly calling out the war hawks right now, the people who are fighting to make sure this war never stops. He's calling those people out here.
The people of Israel, let me say this. As someone who's had a lifelong commitment to Israel, as the only American president who's ever gone to Israel in a time of war, as someone who just sent the U.S. forces...
I remember Biden tweeted about junk fees and Ticketmaster like a year ago, and now he's going after it. Yep. Yeah, no, when Biden tweets about that stuff, it's a prelude to, like, going after it with a build. Like, there's going to be a headline with Biden goes after yada yada with this and this. Like, he's not hollow talk. He's actually doing stuff, like, constantly, like, every day. There's a new thing that he is doing. If you keep up with the headlines and keep up with this, like, what he's doing. And he's been surprisingly successful at getting a lot of these things passed because he knows how to, like, you know, piece by piece achieve a goal. For a good example is the student debt cancellation. It's like in small multi-billion-dollar chunks he's canceling in waves.
To directly defend Israel when it was attacked by Iran, I ask you to take a step back and think what will happen if this moment is lost. We can't lose this moment. Indefinite war in pursuit of an unidentified notion of total victory will not bring Israel, will only bog down Israel and Gaza, draining the economic, military, and human resources, and furthering Israel's isolation in the world. That will not bring hostages home. That will not bring an enduring defeat of Hamas. That will not bring Israel lasting security. But a comprehensive approach that starts with this deal will bring hostages home and will lead to more secure Israel. And once a ceasefire and hostage deal is concluded, it unlocks the possibility of a great deal more progress, including calm along Israel's northern border with Lebanon. The United States will help forge a diplomatic resolution.
Imagine Biden actually establishes peace in this region, like the most unprecedented political move in like the history of the world, actually successfully brings about like lasting peace in this region, with like a strong, like peace deal and like strong presence over Israel's government. Like, God, could you imagine? That might actually result in a substantial boost for Biden in the polls. Like, I know people are really dumb about, foreign policy, but it would be such a meme that Biden solved the crisis in Israel, Gaza, that, people would be like, you got to give Biden credit for that one. It'd become a meme. It's thought to be impossible. Twitter lefties will still try and find a way to spin it into a negative. They'll call Biden a white savior.
Ensures Israel's security and allows people to safely return to their homes without fear of being attacked. With the deal, a rebuilding of Gaza will begin. Arab nations and the international community, along with Palestinian and Israeli leaders, to get it done in a manner that does not allow Hamas to rearm. And the United States will work with our partners to rebuild homes, schools, and hospitals.
I like that he explicitly says as well that Hamas is not currently in a state in which it can pose a serious threat to Israel, which is the United States outright saying, like in an official statement, Israel, if they continue to fight against Hamas, is fighting an enemy that literally cannot fight back. Like, they're basically, like, they don't have the U.S.'s approval at this point to fight Hamas, is the implication there.
In Gaza.
At least to fight them further.
To help repair communities that were destroyed in the chaos of war. And with this deal, Israel could become more deeply integrated in the region, including, it's no surprise to you all, including potential historic normalization agreement with Saudi Arabia. Israel could be part of a regional security network to counter the threat posed by Iran. All this progress would make Israel more secure, with Israeli families no longer living in the shadow of a terrorist attack. And all this would create the conditions.
I feel like we're in that like portion of a Final Fantasy 14 expansion where everything is going too well, and we're teetering on the edge of like someone coming along and fucking it all up. Like Iran is gonna like launch another attack on Israel or something like tomorrow, like in the early morning, and just completely flip everything upside down. It really feels like world leaders that don't like America, that are on an adversarial grounds with us, love to start up conflict when we have a Democrat in office. Now, Republicans would say something like, oh, that's because they know Democrats are weak. But obviously, we're not stupid. We know that, like, America is objectively in a weaker state with a Republican in power. I mean, look at how COVID, beat the shit out of our country because of a Trump presidency. Us not being prepared for a pandemic because Trump just wasn't... America was weak. America's immune system was weak because of Trump. I wonder if adversarial world leaders kind of deliberately start wars with us or get us kind of entrenched in conflict that we have to get involved in realistically, that they know we have to get involved in realistically when we have a Democrat in office, because they know Republicans in office bad for America, and they want what's bad for America, and they want to enforce that idea that Democrats are war hawks by basically forcing, like, hell, Trump airstriked multiple nations and they didn't like bother to get mad at us and like start any hostilities after that. Like, Trump got credit for being this like war ender. Meanwhile, he was airstriking people nonstop. They just didn't attack him back. And yet the second Biden takes office, all of a sudden wars are starting everywhere. And all of our adversarial countries are constantly looking to fight. It makes me wonder. Really makes me wonder. I'm not saying there's like a conspiracy of like coordination here. It's just if there was a known understanding that Republicans in power makes America weaker, wouldn't all our enemies do what they could to make it so that the American people want to elect Republicans? if they can influence what a president does that Americans won't like, such as getting involved in conflict.
Conditions for a different future, a better future for the Palestinian people. One of self-determination, dignity, security, and freedom. This path is available once the deal is struck. Israel will always have the right to defend itself against the threats to its security and to bring those responsible October 7th to justice. And the United States will always ensure that Israel has what it needs to defend itself. If Hamas fails to fulfill its commitments under the deal, Israel can resume military.
When we talk about Israel, we talk about as like a political entity very often. And because of that, we use a lot of negative language and say, Israel bad, Israel shouldn't do this, Israel shouldn't do that, or Israel's wrong in doing this. But we got to remember, we're not also lumping in every last man, woman, and child born and living in Israel with that. There are a lot of people living in Israel. And hell, I've got some fans that live in Israel, believe it or not. I have Israeli fans, at least one of them, was brave enough to announce themselves in chat. And they're not in favor of what's happening. They might have been brought to Israel when they were young, or hell, in some cases even born there. Doesn't mean they're in favor of what's happening, but what they do experience is the bombings. Like, Hamas has been launching rockets at Israel and the populated areas of Israel for decades now. So if you've been an Israeli citizen, you've lived in Israel, you are hearing boom, 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 boom all the fucking time. And you look up in the middle of the day and there are bombs getting intercepted above your head. And that sounds cool at first. We're Americans and we have 4th of July. And so we'd probably have a lot of fun with that for a little while. But when you really think about it, that is quite terrifying. The Palestinians have it far worse because the bombs are genuinely falling on them. But many Israeli citizens have lived under the threat of what the Palestinians are currently going through for a very, very long time at the hands of Hamas, backed by their allied nations and regimes and some terror groups as well. So there's a lot to it when it comes to the idea that, yeah, Israel does need to be able to defend those people in their territory who are having rockets volleyed at them. That they do need to be defended, right? Xander, 70 to 80% of Israeli, Gazans, and Palestinians like the USA. Biden and Israel's plan. Nice. Yeah, criticizing Israel shouldn't entail antagonizing Israeli citizens generally. Well, that's not what I even mean. I mean, a general understanding that, there are good people in Israel that do not support this war that will fully tell you, but, yeah, Hamas is bad. They have almost bombed me my entire life. If it were not for the Iron Dome, one of those missiles would have hit me by now. And they're not full of shit. They're not lying, you know? I binge both seasons of From in 2 days. Thank you. Chad91, I wish you joined the watch party. I only recommend top tier media, okay? Join the watch parties. If I'm watch partying a show, it is top tier and worth being there for. I promise. We're doing a watch party after this stream, by the way. Be there.
Operations, but Egypt and Qatar have assured me, and they are continuing to work to ensure that Hamas doesn't do that. The United States will help ensure that Israel lives up to their obligations as well. That's what this deal says. That's what it says. And we'll do our part. This is truly a decisive moment. Israel has made their proposal. Hamas says it wants a ceasefire. This deal is an opportunity to prove whether they really mean it. Hamas needs to take the deal. For months,
I think they've agreed.
People all over the world have called for ceasefire. Now it's time.
This is 2 days old, by the way, and so far, no bumps, no speed bumps, no bumps in the road, no potholes, no issues. It seems like it's holding up. Peace may be in reach.
Time to raise your voices and demand that Hamas come to the table, agrees to this deal, and end this war that they began. Of course, there'll be differences on the specific details that need to be worked out. That's natural. If Hamas comes to negotiate, ready to deal, then Israel negotiations must be given a mandate, the necessary flexibility to close that deal. Past 8 months have marked heartbreaking pain.
So maybe he's using a teleprompter. It's like on a screen in the middle of the crowd that he's looking at, but it honestly doesn't like it looks like he's talking off the dome here. It looks like he's just remembered the thing that he is doing and he's just explaining it like in the way I would as a streamer, just like explaining a thing to you guys. Like it seems like that's what he's doing. Biden like actually seems to be hands-on and the like person behind the policies he's pushing, like the good policies he's behind. So it makes sense that he can actually explain what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's not all just like a cabinet making all of these decisions and all these moves for him. And he's just like the puppet. He actually is getting on his knees and doing the work, you know? Getting on his knees and doing the work. God, that phrasing.
Those whose loved ones are slaughtered by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. Hostages and their families waiting in anguish. Ordinary Israelis whose lives were forever marked by the shattering event of Hamas's sexual violence and ruthless brutality.
Yeah, there was quite a few women who were raped by Hamas soldiers on October 7th, and they sexually assaulted and raped a lot of the women that they killed and imprisoned. I know that like there's a lot of people on the left that are saying this didn't happen. I don't know why we have to like defend Hamas or like play like misinfo misinfo like games for Hamas in order to like make Israel look bad, because it's not necessary. But no, Hamas is a truly bad organization. They are extremely far right. If you're left wing, you should not be defending them. Just because they're not in America doesn't mean they're not literally the same types of people here who carry around Trump flags and Confederate flags and think that women should be barefoot in the kitchen and only fucking them. It's a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same types of people. It's just different part of the world.
Palestinian people have endured sheer hell in this war. Too many innocent people have been killed, including thousands of children. Far too many have been badly wounded.
I'm curious how the right's going to react to this clip. Oh, conservatives have not paid this any mind because they don't like to give any attention to the fact that Biden is not a warmonger.
We all saw the terrible images from the deadly fire in Rafah earlier this week, following an Israeli strike against targeting Hamas. And even as we work to surge assistance to Gaza, with 1,800 trucks delivering supplies these last 5 days, 1,800, the humanitarian crisis still remains. I know this is a subject on which people in this country feel deep, passionate convictions, and so do I. This has been one of the hardest, most complicated problems in the world.
No, Biden, you're genocide
There's nothing
lover.
easy about this. Nothing easy about it. Through it all, though, the United States has worked relentlessly to support Israeli security, to get humanitarian supplies into Gaza, to get a ceasefire and a hostage deal to bring this war to an end. Yesterday, with this new initiative, we've taken an important step in that direction. I want to level with you today as to where we are and what might be possible.
Nice.
But I need your help. Everyone who wants peace now must raise their voices and let the leaders know they should take this deal, work to make it real, make it lasting.
You know what he's telling people who are protesting for Gaza right now, right? He's telling you, here you go. You have something specifically to protest for. This is going to kind of differentiate for me who are the people that actually care and who are the people that are just like virtue signaling. It'll be the difference between the people who are just chanting free Gaza, free Gaza, free Gaza after this, and the people chanting like for Israel to agree to this, for Hamas to agree to this, and for the U.S. to continue to back this. Like, that'll be what sets it apart for me. The people who back this. This is the most realistic, actual, tangible way to help the people who have been harmed in Gaza. And if people aren't backing this and talking about this, then as far as I'm concerned, they're just virtue signaling about people who are dying overseas, not actually caring, because this is how you actually care.
Forge a better future out of the tragic terror attack and war. It's time to begin this.
You can cringe at me if you want, Perry Icefire, but I've seen people on Twitter who are obviously just virtue signaling with the Gaza, like, Israel stuff, and that should upset you, that people are, like, weaponizing the deaths of these, like, innocent civilians in Gaza to make themselves look morally good, I guess. Like, that should upset you. Like, a lot of Twitter posters love doing that. It's like a big thing to do on Twitter right now, and I don't like that. It happens with every new thing that is like a human rights violation that is getting a lot of attention. Breaking, Ukraine officially recognizes Palestine. I thought that's been a thing, Astronaut Lad. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought that has been a thing for a while. I thought, like, Ukraine has, for a while, recognized Palestine.
New stage. For the hostages to come home, for Israel to be secure, for the suffering to stop. It's time for this war to...
You know, the Animaniacs recognize Palestine. In the Countries of the World song, Palestine is in it. What is that, back in like the late 80s, early 90s? Pretty based.
End. For the day after to begin. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Nice. I like Biden. I'm saying it. I'm a proud Biden supporter. In fact, we are going full resistance lib, as I said before. We are resist liberals, and we're wearing our I'm Still With Her shirts. We love Biden. We love the Democratic Party. We vote blue no matter who. Donald Trump is bad. Donald Trump for prison. He's going to Pokemon Go to prison. It's going to be very... Oh my god. OBS. OBS just had a stroke. I mean, thankfully this is the last topic I'm doing, but... Anyway, Pokemon go to prison. Pokemon go to prison, Trump. Anyway, if you enjoyed this segment, please consider dropping a like. Every single thumbs up, no matter when, where, or what you're watching, boosts my channel and my content and the algorithm out to more people, so I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to follow my social medias linked down below, subscribe and ring the bell icon, comment, and if you want to support me financially, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buying merch through my Streamlabs link down below in the description. And of course, do not forget to join my fan Discord. Every week, at least, I host a watch party, a game event, or a call-in stream in my Discord server. It is poppin' constantly. There's always events happening. And in fact, after this stream, as in like 10 minutes, we're doing a watch party of episodes 4, 5, and 6 of Rings of Power. It's great. It's fantastic. Do not let the right-wing racist bitches tell you otherwise. Everyone I've gotten into it so far is loving it. We had over 50 people in the last watch party. Let's see if we can get even more this time. People are loving it and have been asking me to resume for the last few streams, so I hope you guys are hyped. Go ahead and join the Discord if you haven't already. I'll go ahead and post the link to the Discord. It's also down in the description if you want to join the Discord, like, when watching the video. When this goes out on YouTube, it's its own thing. But I highly recommend you join the Discord now, because I want to see you guys in that watch party tonight. With all that said, hopefully you enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Oh, guys, I did not think I was going to be this drowsy today. I don't know why I'm so, like, sleepy in the eyes, but it's, like, affecting the rest of me. It's making it hard to stream. Did I miss stream? Yes, you did, Avalon of Babylon, but you know what you didn't miss is the watch party. You have not missed the watch party. We are doing a watch party right now. Everyone hop in Xander's Theater voice chat stage in my Discord. You just have to scroll down to voice channels. It's the top one on the list. I am making the stage now. Rings of Power watch party. Woo! Let's go. Let me message everybody. I will also have Heavy Gretel, a pillow, and Balthazar there. Hopefully Balthazar. I think... No, wait, no. I don't think Balth. Balth's already seen Rings of Power. I don't think Balth will be coming. But yeah, hopefully everybody comes to the watch party. We've already got 15 people in there. Come on, guys. I want as many people in the watch party as possible. Every time I get people in there, they're always like... For the first time, they're always like, why didn't I join these sooner? It's so fun. Season 1 or 2? Season 1. Every time I get people in these watch parties for the first time, they're always like, why didn't I join sooner? It's so fun. Yeah, I'll be doing the Gavin segment tomorrow. I'm just tired tonight. So yeah, join the watch party. It's a fun time. You get to hang out in VC with me, and you get to watch a show with my commentary, and I react to your messages and stuff. It's like a smaller version of this chat, of this stream, only we're watching a show, and you get a much higher rate of me responding to you because it's a smaller chat. We got 17 people so far. Come on, it's a whole ass movie night. Hop on in here, guys. We got 237 people here, and only 19 have joined. Come on, hop on in. I want to see how many we can get in here. I don't want to wrap up stream until we've got 35 people in the audience. So hop on in there, guys. Exclamation point Discord. Sorry, Beth. I'm very, very tired, and I'm setting up the watch party right now and wrapping up stream. I think this... Yep, there you go. Click that link and join the Discord. I'm going to type up an announcement. Hopefully we can get some more people flooding in from there. I want to break the record this time for how many people we have in the watch party. At everyone, we are watch partying the next 3 episodes of Rings of Power in Xander's Theater. Don't listen to the chuds. This goes hard as fuck. Come see for yourself. And then let me get a cool screenshot. Rings of Power screenshot. Ooh, yeah, it's a good one. Watch party the next 3 episodes of Rings of Power in Xander's Theater. Don't listen to the chuds. This goes hard as fuck. Come see for yourself. And starting in 5 minutes. Nice. Okay. How many people we have so far? How many people we got so far? Got 26. Come on, hop in there. What is up, everybody? What is up? Whoa. I just wanted to undeafen and mute so you guys can all hear me. All right, everyone. I'm going to be wrapping up stream. Come join the watch party, or you're cringe. Don't miss it, or you'll be cringe. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and have a good one. I hope to see you in the watch party. See you guys.